Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
It's the Chris and Amy Show. Check it out.
St. Louis, Mound City, we are going to have a great day today.
Now, Amy Marks scores Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Let's take it from the top.
Good morning, good friends. It is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX, and we're about to have just a splendid morning and afternoon with you.
Oh, it's going to be great.
We have a phone number, which we've always had, 314-436-7900. We've got that's a text line, too. You know, you can text us. We are on social media at Chris Amy KMOX. The Odyssey app is fantastic. You can listen to us live wherever you go, and you're going to need to download it because we have something to tell you about. So AUDACY, download the app for free, listen to us live, get the podcast later, and of course, we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everybody will be talking about.
Nelly was arrested yesterday in the St. Louis area with charges of possession and a very St. Louis thing. He didn't have insurance.
No,
Nelly got arrested in St. Louis.
Doesn't he get arrested every
I don't know
like
about
11 months or something?
I don't think
Remember
so.
when he got arrested on Highway 44? Anyway, from one star to the next, Taylor Swift, 3 shows canceled in Vienna. She had 3 shows scheduled for that city because of ISIS-related terrorist threats. That's never great.
Cardinals beat the Rays last night, so they win the series against the Rays with an opportunity to sweep the series at Busch Stadium this evening. We've got the ball game right here, 5:20 pregame show, and a 6:15 first pitch. John Rooney and Rick Horton on the call today. So Amy Marks scores. There's a lot of stuff going on. We mentioned Nelly. We mentioned Taylor Swift. Kamala Harris had a rally yesterday that was interrupted by protesters, and there's some interesting sound from it that we are going to discuss. But there's a thing that we need to tell our listener about.
It's big because it changes everything.
It changes everything.
It really changes a lot.
Years now.
Yeah.
Literally years, a couple. We have had on this show a voicemail line. We had a total separate number for it. Scrap it. Throw it away.
If you had it saved in your phone, delete it.
You don't need
Remove it.
Here's why you don't need it.
It's dead.
Download the Odyssey app for free. And when you go to the station, KMOX, to listen to us and you open up KMOX, one of the first things you're going to see, other than our nice little logo, is a little microphone icon. It's our new voice messaging service.
Yep.
So it gives you 60 seconds to leave a voice message to us. Use it. It is so easy.
So easy.
It sounds good. It sounds like you're just recording on your phone, which is exactly what you're doing. And we're going to utilize those. The entire station is utilizing them. Dave Glover started with it yesterday. It's awesome. It sounds great. So use the click that little mic icon and leave us a voice message whenever you want on the Odyssey app.
I'm going to leave a message during the commercial break to show you guys how easy it is. And we would love to hear from you about the topics we're talking about, whatever it may be, whatever's on your mind. Again, on the Odyssey app, on the KMOX page, there's a little microphone.
It's right. It's very visible.
Right in the middle.
Can't miss it.
Can't miss it. And I think our boss said if we get 35 voicemails today, we get to go to Six Flags.
Oh.
Yeah.
As a show or just?
Just me and you and Matt.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Send us to Six Flags.
So if we get 35 voicemails, voice messages.
35.
Yeah, 35
seems low. I think he said 50.
No, because it's 10 an hour plus 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 5 bonus.
I mean, 35 does seem low.
Listen, we got to hit it, Ranj.
Okay.
You say that now. What if tomorrow we're not at Six Flags?
So then let's just plan for 50.
Okay.
Plan
if we
for
get
50.
50 voicemails, Ranj and I and our producer, little Matt Pajeski, get to go to Six Flags.
That'll be adorable, the 3 of us. We're going to have a great time. Is the moon ride still there? I feel like that would be the ride that you like the most. That's the one that it's got the old-timey cars and they're on a track and you got to steer them.
I don't like the moon ride. I like the old-timey cars.
Moon cars.
Moon
Are they called
cars.
moon cars? Yeah.
Yeah, because listen, I lost consciousness. I passed out on the mine train. One of the turns is real fast, and the G-force.
The mine train?
Yeah, and I
That's
know
like a carnival roller coaster.
And I know people are thinking, Amy, you don't need to make everything a joke. I know this is not a joke. I actually kind of blacked out on the mine train. We went to the doctor afterwards. He said the mine train was too much excitement for me.
A texter, and I believe this is John in Dallas,
Okay.
I think, texting. He says, can we still text? Yes, you can.
You can still
text the show. That is still available, 314-436-7900. But this voice message feature on the Odyssey app it's great. You don't have to call a number and wait for it to ring and wait for hey, this is the Chris and Amy show. You don't have to do any of that. You just hit the button, you hit record, and then you go. It's awesome.
And here's what's so cool, too, is I know we always tell you to be careful.
Yeah.
But I think when you leave the voicemail, it's so easy. You can be a little less careful, probably.
Here's another texter. It says, Chris Ranji has the nastiest mouth. I wish he would take an etiquette class from Hancock and Kelly.
The nastiest mouth.
Yeah, they don't like it. It says I don't like it. He calls his partner or other guests liars. When do I do that?
Yeah.
When did I call you a liar?
I don't know, but you called me all sorts of things. Sometimes you say shut up. That's mean.
Oh, well.
You can't say shut up. That was not allowed in the Mark Scores house.
Well,
you
this
can't.
is not the Mark Scores house.
No, technically it should be stricter.
But what if you need to shut up? That's one of my favorite things when people say, don't tell me to relax.
Yeah.
I don't like being told to relax. I love to say, well, maybe what if you need to relax then?
And that's why you're single.
I don't think that's why.
I think that's one of the many reasons why. We could do a whole podcast. Hey, you could leave a voice message on why Chris Ranji's single.
You can. You certainly can.
Remember, it's the Odyssey app, and there's a little microphone.
Yeah, you have to go to the KMOX. You have to go to the station. Go to KMOX. And a texter says, I'm sorry, guys. No matter how much I open the app, there is no microphone. You might have to update the app. Make sure it's updated. Yeah. Because when you open it up, it says News Radio 1120 KMOX. There are two buttons.
And you click on, KMOX. Make sure you're on the KMOX page.
Yes, you have to go to the KMOX page. One says Listen Live. And the other one is right next to it. It looks like a little microphone. You just tap on it and you can leave us a message. There's a lot that we do want to get to today, but we thought that was pretty important to get that out there because it's a feature we're going to be using. The entire station is using it, so you can always voice your opinion all the way through Sports Open Line, Cardinals baseball. If you've got thoughts, drop them right there with our voice messaging feature on the Odyssey app. When we come back, we're going to talk more about, we do have the Nelly arrest that happened yesterday. We've got some sound from Kamala Harris's rally that took place yesterday in Michigan, where she was heckled, and I got some thoughts on that. Okay. And I know Amy does as well. The number is 314-436-7900. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. Join us for the next edition of The Business of Family Business. My co-host is Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners.
Yeah, I think this is one you're going to want to tune into. Jim tells a lot of great stories about taking over McKelvey Homes and bringing his family into the business. So it's a great spot. Tune in.
That would be Jim Brennan, the president and owner of McKelvey Homes. And you'll hear that on The Business of Family Business Saturday at 2 here on KMOX.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Seidman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are focusing on lung cancer. And joining me is Dr. Whitney Brandt, assistant professor of surgery at Washington University School of Medicine.
So a lung cancer screening exam is pretty easy. It's just a CAT scan. It's low dose radiation. So they just put you in a CAT scan. It takes about 2 minutes to do, and then you're done.
Special thanks to Seidman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to seidman.wustl.edu.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of consumer cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Why'd the kid jump off the boat?
I don't know. Why?
Peer pressure.
Oh, good one, Ned.
Ned isn't funny, but Ned owns a boat, and you don't. So every time Ned tells another one of his unfunny boat puns, you're going to laugh loud and keep on laughing until you get a boat of your own.
A pier where you put a boat.
Yeah, I get it.
And when you do get a boat of your own, make sure you save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
It is so hot. I mean, it's expected here at times, especially this time of year in St. Louis. But man, when it gets this hot, I've heard the egg farmers are having a serious problem. That's just what I heard. Again, it might be true, it might not. It sounds like it sounds like it's probably is true that the chicken farmers are having trouble having the eggs because it's so hot. When the chickens lay the egg, it becomes a baby chick. That's hot. So I can only imagine what it is in your house. Well, I don't have to imagine. I've been in your houses when your air conditioner is not working or when it breaks. So if yours is broken or it's not cooling really good, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois, the easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. Now that is a Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Are you ready to shape the future? Missouri is crafting its master plan on aging, and we want to hear from you. Visit health.mo.gov/aging to share your thoughts, ideas, and concerns. We can create a vibrant, inclusive future for all generations.
Rich Orris hosts the King of MOX Home Improvement Show, presented by Mosby Building Arts. Saturday at 11 on the Voice of St. Louis, King of MOX.
Hi, my name's Nicole. I'm hoping to send you guys to Six Flags. Good luck.
I'm passing Six Flags right now. Have fun on the Screaming Eagle.
Please send Chris and Amy to Six Flags. I think they're short a few clowns out there.
Hey.
See, that was nice of everybody trying to send us out to Eureka.
I kind of feel like the last one hurt my feelings
It's
a little bit.
Oh, he's calling us clowns.
I think he is.
That's not very nice.
Man, I'm so excited about Six Flags.
I love. So now that we've told everybody that our boss Steve's promised to send us to Six Flags if we got all the voicemails, now we have to convince Steve.
No, we have to tell Steve.
We have to tell him about it. So, Amy, yesterday morning, I think you saw the story about Nellie, who was arrested at Hollywood Casino and Hotel. It happened really early in the morning, so a little bit before 5 o'clock.
Probably late at night to Nellie.
Late at night.
Probably felt late at night.
It happened late at night.
4:45 a.m.
Look, we were just talking about, and I know that he was operating a vehicle without proper proof of insurance, so they ran his name.
Yeah, he had an outstanding warrant from a previous time when he was pulled over. He didn't have, like you said, proper proof of insurance, so he had an outstanding warrant. So when he was going into the casino, what they occasionally do at Missouri casinos, right, when they check your ID, they run the ID, and that's when they saw the outstanding warrant.
Yeah, so his attorney, Scott Rosenblum, says that they needlessly ran a search for warrants on him. And that once the officer, by the way, did find the outstanding warrant, he put him in handcuffs. And Rosenblum says that they felt compelled to, quote, parade him through the casino in front of other customers. So I wonder how much this is really going to blow up, because it's embarrassing for him, certainly. If he's done something wrong, and all this stuff, of course, is alleged until something is actually proven. But I don't know if police intentionally did that to him to make a scene out of it, but I guess I could understand where he's coming from on it.
Who is he?
Nellie's attorney.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't have a lot of sympathy for Nellie here. And you shouldn't, if you are a police officer and you are making a show or parading somebody because of ego or because you think it's cool that you have Nellie, that's wrong, because ultimately he's an American citizen and he has rights and due process and not to be humiliated like that. But if you don't want things to go wrong when people run your ID, don't break the law over and over and over again for having possession of drugs or possession of ecstasy or not having insurance, especially not having insurance. Like, that's when you think, I made it, I'm better than everyone else, I'm above the law, because Nellie can afford insurance.
Yeah.
And that's been going on for a long time. And that irritates me when people think little laws don't apply to them, or maybe he thinks it's cool to break the law. I don't know, but I don't really have a lot of sympathy for Nellie. I mean, being familiar with Nellie's music, I guess it's not shocking he does drugs and doesn't care too much about the law.
Well, I don't even care about the drugs. I think that I know so many people who do drugs, and I'm sure
ecstasy?
you do too. Oh, dude.
I don't think a lot of my friends do ecstasy.
Well, either do or have done. I don't know that any of us have many friends who haven't tried something.
I know people who have done, but he's not a kid who tried something in college.
No, but I'm not even saying that. I mean, people do it as adults post college too. It's not really just
and I would say
a
if they
college
get
thing.
caught, it's too bad for them.
Yeah, but I don't. He's not a bad person for this.
No, he's a bad person for other things.
This doesn't make him a bad person, and I don't know what those other things are you're talking about. But if it was excessive, if police were thinking, oh my God, we got Nellie here, so let's make a whole ordeal out of this, then there's something to what Rosenblum is talking about. But otherwise, I don't know. At this point, I'm not all that upset with what happened.
Yeah.
The insurance thing, here's what I wonder. If you get to a certain point in your career, he's a superstar, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that he was most popular 20 years ago, but he's still, everybody knows who Nellie is. I wonder if you get to a point of celebrity where the small things fall through the cracks. Maybe you have people who handle your insurance or your finances or stuff like that. Is it possible that somebody else was responsible for him having insurance and they didn't take care of it?
Maybe. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, Nellie's got a long list of whether it's being pulled over or guns or drugs. And then I think the most important ones are these multiple sexual assault allegations.
Now that's a problem.
Maybe all the women are lying. I don't know. But when you've got a handful of women who, and he was arrested and charged with rape, although that was, I think, eventually dropped because the woman wanted to drop the charges. So again, Nellie is Nellie. It's whatever. Just get insurance. Like, I'm just not feeling sorry for him. If you are a police officer, I don't care what you think. You got to follow the rules. Don't parade someone around and make a show of it. But ultimately, I don't really have any sympathy for Nellie. I'm sure whatever bed he's in, he made.
Amy, this Taylor Swift story, switching gears here a little bit. This is nuts. What happened in Austria, where there were 3 Taylor Swift shows that were supposed to happen. All of them have been canceled because of what they found to be a credible terror plot by 3 individuals who were arrested. A 19-year-old was arrested yesterday, planning to kill, quote, a large crowd of people in a suicide attack. And these people had been radicalized online by ISIS propaganda.
And they were all teenagers, 19, 17, and 15. They were questioned in connection with the terror plot. But I mean, this was, the German government is involved. And then it was the 19-year-old who quit his job on July 25th, saying he had, quote, something big planned. and they did find chemicals and explosive devices at the house of the main suspect. And the police had said that these suspects had taken, quote, concrete preparatory measures for a terror attack at the Taylor Swift concerts.
The 17-year-old suspect that you mentioned, of Turkish or Croatian heritage, he was employed at a company which would have provided services at the stadium. So this guy was an employee, and this happened recently where he got that job at the stadium, which would have given him access to be there. So I believe what this will end up doing is cause larger venues, probably not just in Austria, probably around Europe, and I would imagine here too, the vetting process for hiring people in these venues is going to have to become more strict.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, when you have, it's one thing if people are getting into the country illegally, or they're coming from countries or from areas that are known to be high risk or high terror threats. That's one thing. But if you're having people who are citizens of your country becoming radicalized online, that adds another element that it's even harder to find.
Was watching interviews this morning of people who were supposed to go to this concert or one of the concerts, and now their plans are totally wrecked, and now they have to find other things to do. And I was thinking about how thankful we should all be that this is the worst part of the story.
Right.
The worst part of the story right now is that people have to change their plans, and maybe they wasted money and they got their whole trip screwed up and they lost money as a result of all of this, as opposed to there being multiple people, dozens, if not hundreds of people being killed.
Yeah.
Great job by intelligence agencies around the world, including the United States, who helped Austria on this.
And just on that note, when it comes to terrorist attacks, I know this one was ISIS, so the radical Islamic terrorist attacks. Brett Eagleson, he's the president of the 9/11 Justice organization and son of a 9/11 victim. He will be joining us in the 12 o'clock hour.
Looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah, to discuss the news report implicating Saudi Arabia in the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Let's take a quick call before we get to break. Ed is with us in St. Louis. Hello, Ed.
I love your program, and I'm reluctant to tell this story, but I was pulling into my driveway in a St. Louis County municipality, and I look in my rearview mirror, and there's a police car behind me with its lights on. Okay. Turns out my license plate had expired, and and by the way, I'm a clergyman, and I was in my clergy outfit, and they said, "Oh well, we've got to take care of this. You can't just." So anyway, they literally put me in handcuffs, put me in the back of the police car, and took me to the police station, where they held me for 3 hours till my wife could come and get me. And I'm just.
I guess it seems like a little much, unless something else was going on there. I'm not sure why they would take you to the police station on that. I feel like they would just write you a ticket normally, right?
Yeah.
For an expired plate?
Yeah.
Sorry that happened, Ed. Appreciate the phone call, though. Anybody's welcome to join in, but we really want you to use the Odyssey app voice messaging feature. If you go to KMOX on the Odyssey app, you'll see a little mic icon right next to the Listen Live button. It's quick. Hit the button, drop us a voice message, and maybe we'll play it on the show. Major Garrett is joining us. And again, there's never a bad time to talk to him, but so much has happened, and he will be with us next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
When it comes to retirement, you don't need to worry or sweat the small stuff if you have Sachs Financial on your side. Sachs Financial, home of the Retirement Compensation Plan. SACHS, Sachs Financial, because income is the outcome that matters. RetireSafeSTL.com.
At 10:30, sun and 77 downtown at the Arch. Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, are showing their support for organized labor by appearing at a Detroit area union hall. Harris, the Democratic presidential nominee, and Walz are set to speak today to several dozen United Auto Workers members.
The Cardinals have taken the first two games of the three-game series against the Rays, winning last night 5-2. Eric Fetty makes his first home start as a Cardinal. He goes 5 innings, allowing 1 run on 4 hits. He picks up his first win with St. Louis and his 8th overall. Ryan Helsley throws a scoreless 9th as he picks up the save. Both Alec Burleson and Nolan Arenado go 2 for 4, driving in 2 runs each. The series finale coming up tonight as the Cardinals look for a 3-game series sweep. Kyle Gibson on the mound looking for his 8th win. 6:15 first pitch. Our coverage starts at 5:20. With the Redbird Report, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
We've got a crash that's just been cleared on 6440 going east before McKnight. Stalled vehicle 270 south of 55 on the right shoulder as well. This afternoon, mix of clouds and sun, warmer with the high of 86. Shower and spots late this afternoon into this evening, low 65. For tomorrow, high just 78. Sponsored by DesignAirService.com, St. Louis's leading air conditioning and repair service. It's sunny and 77. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey, Charlie Brennan here. With St. Louis's summer heat, it's nice to have an HVAC company you can completely rely on. I recommend you call the best. Design Air, 314-739-1600, DesignAirService.com.
Summertime is the best time to enjoy the outdoors and enhance the appearance of your home. Banner Construction can make your home the showplace of the neighborhood with maintenance-free James Hardy siding and beautiful Pella replacement windows. Drive up to your home with a renewed pride. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. Get a free in-home design and estimate. Call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day. 314-569-1050.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app, and never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
At 1-800-GOT-JUNK, we believe. We believe in repurposing the junk we make disappear. We donate the donatables so that a new family can love them. Those items get a new life. We believe in recycling the recyclables. Raw material for brand new products. And we believe in returning natural resources to the earth. And we believe in you. We know you want to make a difference. Let us help you do that. All you have to do is point. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
What if I told you your home movies are already past their prime? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box stops this fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos too. Visit legacybox.com/value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/value.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW. I am so confident that my team will take care of every one of your service and sales needs. I'll give you my cell phone, 618-791-5470. Newbold Toyota or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
I'm Brad Young. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
It is Thursday morning after the 10:30 news, and we always talk to our guy, CBS Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News, Major Garrett's always joining us here. His book is The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie, and 2 podcasts, The Takeout and Agent of Betrayal. They're both really good podcasts, which, by the way, you can hear on the Odyssey app. And on the Quiver River Electric guest line, we talked to Major this morning. Good morning, Major.
Good morning. How is everybody?
We're doing okay. We are settling nicely into a presidential race now that both parties have their tickets.
Really?
Yeah.
You're settling in.
Settling
you're
in.
all comfortable. It's you're not still traumatized by the swirl of news of the last 4 weeks?
No. We figure that it'll all be smooth sailing from here until November.
No more unpredictable events. Well, count yourself among the 2 Americans who believe that to be true.
We're so serene and placid that we're almost not even interested. That's how.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
We're in beach chairs today.
Anyway, hey, can we start with a local story, Major, that I want to know what the relevance is in Washington, D.C., and that is Missouri District 1, the House seat in which the incumbent squad member Cori Bush was defeated by the St. Louis County prosecutor Wesley Bell. Of course, Cori Bush made quite a big wave in D.C. as far as being a member of the squad, voting against Biden's initiatives, being more to the left. She had an interesting concession speech where she promised to tear down AIPAC's kingdom and so forth. In Washington, D.C., is this something that is making waves, or does it mean, nope, Cori Bush will be relegated to irrelevance in a couple of months?
Well, everyone who's a lame duck who loses their primary, Republican or Democrat, fades from view in Washington once they come back. So that is inevitable. The legislative tasks remaining for Congress in an election year basically come down to passing spending bills. So those are the only votes that members are going to cast of substance when Congress returns after the August break in September. They'll have a very short period of time to do that, probably do a continuing resolution. So Cori Bush is not going to be central to those conversations or central to the vote tallies one way or the other. So in that sense, she just fades. She will just sort of fade away, to use your metaphor, as any defeated member of Congress in a primary tends to be. There is something larger about this, though. One thing that's very familiar and one thing that's somewhat new. The very familiar thing, and I've watched this for many, many years, is that when members of Congress become more readily known nationally than appreciated or known in their congressional district, that can create a problem. Meaning, if you have a definition to your career or to your persona that is more familiar to national newspapers or networks or cable networks, and you're not as seen as effective or as attentive to your local concerns, that disconnect can come back to bite you, particularly in a primary. That's a very long-standing story. Cori Bush's story, in part, falls into that. The new part of it is among those progressive Democratic members who take a much more, if not strident, certainly skeptical view of Israel and Israel's role in the Middle East, its fragility within the Middle East, whether or not it's an aggressor or whether or not it's a colonizer. I mean, a lot of these deeply entrenched suspicions about the state of Israel, members of the squad have been much more willing to think along those lines, speak along those lines, and vote along those lines. And you mentioned AIPAC. It's probably well known in St. Louis, but just for everyone's benefit, American Israel Political Affairs Committee, not a political action committee, Political Affairs Committee, raises money to defeat members of Congress, historically has for decades and decades, who are sharply critical of Israel. And that prominence has taken out not just Cori Bush, but also another member in New York, Jamal Bowman, who was similar to Cori Bush. So twice now, this particular political entity has raised a ton of money, plowed that money into campaigns, found more attractive primary candidates to challenge these members of Congress. And they have defeated two of them now, which lots of other members of Congress, I guarantee you, particularly on the Democratic side, have paid attention to.
And as a quick follow-up, do you attribute Bowman's and Bush's defeats primarily to their outspoken positions on Israel, or do you think it is a sign of a larger trend in general of what appetite there is for the very progressive squad members?
It's combined. You can't in my estimation, you can't have these defeats of sitting members of Congress without both of those things coming together. So you need a lot of fuel if you're a challenger, and AIPAC provided a lot of fuel, and by fuel I mean money. That gets you on the air, keeps you on the air, allows you to recruit campaign staff, pay them well, and have all the infrastructure you need. All that stuff matters, okay? But it doesn't matter decisively if your other underlying politics or your representation, visibility, interactiveness with your district is a big, big plus for you. Oftentimes, if you're well established, well entrenched, well admired in your district, you can repel challenges of this kind. But if you're not, you're doubly vulnerable. And those things combined to work against Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman.
Over about the last 36, maybe 24 hours, Major, Tim Walz, who's the vice presidential candidate, the running mate with Kamala Harris, has been criticized for misrepresenting his military record. J.D. Vance with the stolen valor thing to him. It feels like a swift boating thing is happening again here. What will be the as you see it, the eventual outcome from all of these attacks on Walz's military service?
So I covered the 2004 presidential campaign. I did a lot of stories about swift boats and John Kerry. Big differences. Big differences. One, Tim Walz is not the nominee for president. Kamala Harris is. John Kerry was the nominee for president for the Democratic Party. When you're the nominee for president, this cuts even more and for a longer period of time. Another big difference. Tim Walz is not going to set the entire definition and symbolism for the Democratic National Convention. Kamala Harris is going to do that. John Kerry did that for the convention in Boston. He's the one who decided to make military service, his military service, the most important symbolic takeaway of that convention. He injected it into the national bloodstream. John Kerry did. Remember, reporting for duty? For those who are old enough to remember that convention, the uniform, all of that. In a post-9/11 world, John Kerry thought that was the most important strategic takeaway. So he injected his military service and every question about it into the national campaign. Tim Walz is not going to do that in Chicago at the National Convention. Tim Walz served for 24 years in the Nebraska and Minnesota National Guard. And if J.D. Vance wants to tussle over that and remind people that Donald Trump had 5 deferments, 4 of them for bone spurs in Vietnam, go ahead. But it's just not going to land the same way. It just isn't. Fighting over vice presidential biographies doesn't determine presidential elections. It never has, and it never will.
Major, this is a question I've kind of been holding since the swap of prisoners, the prisoner exchange with Russia. I don't know if it's significant or not, so I'm asking you, is the timing of that finalizing the negotiations of the prisoner swap with Putin in any way significant because it occurred after Joe Biden became a quote-unquote lame duck president, when you do things maybe sometimes that you think won't be necessarily super popular?
Well, first of all, anyone and every administration I've covered that's worked on negotiations of this kind knows that the politics are an unexpected part of what happens. You are focused on the specifics of obtaining the release of the American. That's what you're focused on. And the politics can sometimes work for you and sometimes work against you. And sometimes you're not sure how they're going to land. But every administration I've ever covered, including the Trump administration, the calculus is always about who the American is, what the circumstances are, and what the negotiations require to win their release. Full stop. The timing of it, I don't think, is much about Biden stepping down as perhaps Putin recalculating the value of this for him. And I can only put on the record what we know to be true. Former President Trump was promising to win the release, not of Paul Whelan, by the way, only Evan Gershkovich of the Wall Street Journal. He put out videos about this, basically made ironclad promises that after he won the election, but before he's inaugurated, he would get Evan Gershkovich back home. Putin will do this for me, I believe is a direct quote. All of that has been obliterated by Putin's choice and the negotiations that went on between the United States and several other countries. That's a Putin calculation. And I don't think any sane person can read into that calculation that it's a plus for former President Trump. I don't know exactly what Putin's calculations are, but he deprived Trump of something that Trump was promising he and only he could deliver. I think that's the biggest thing to read into, not Biden and what he thought was politically permissible after dropping out, because I don't think the politics are that negative or pro one way or the other. Most Americans are glad this happened. And understanding all the other countries involved, they had to make compromises too. And they have to make explanations to their citizens about people who were released as part of this deal. Multifaceted, I think that blurs a lot of the negativity, whatever it might have been, in the political sphere.
How much of a problem is it that Kamala Harris has yet to give an interview to media or a press conference?
Well, so I'm a reporter, so it's a big problem for me. Okay, all reporters want interviews, press conferences as often as possible. I want one every single day on a campaign, basically. All right, that's my requirement. Has that ever been satisfied since I started covering presidential politics in 1992? No. Okay, so I have a very pronounced and self-motivated point of view on this. I think the public is enlarged in its knowledge by interactions with the press, and I think reporters should give hard questions to candidates every day, and candidates should take them every day, but that's not how it works. It's never been how it's worked. Here's when leading political candidates for all offices, House, Senate, governor, and president, this is how they decide whether to talk to the press. Do I have to? And if you don't have to, you don't. And right now, Kamala Harris has made the calculation she doesn't have to. That may run out on her, and it may run out on her fast. And she may need to come back to the press, like Trump is coming back to the press today at Mar-a-Lago at 2 p.m. Eastern. He's not doing that because he wants to. He's doing it because he has to. He's not in the conversation. He's lost the thread. And the one way he can get back into it rapidly is to have a press conference, to pull the press into Mar-a-Lago and to riff for how long he's going to riff and take as many questions. That's when politicians do it, when they have to. Kamala Harris doesn't think she has to. The day will come when she will.
Major, who's on the takeout this week?
You might have heard of him. Neil Gorsuch.
Oh, no kidding. That guy. Very nice.
Yes.
Yeah?
Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Donald Trump's first appointed justice to the court, first of 3. He has a new book out called Overruled. We ran a good portion of that interview earlier this week on CBS Mornings on Monday, and the full interview will be on the Takeout this weekend.
Takeout podcast is fantastic. So are you, Major, and we're going to talk to you next week.
Oh, go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
You are great.
He's the wind beneath my wings.
You know what? Major, you give me life.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, please. Make it stop. Make it stop. I'll talk to you next week. Folks.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Major Garrett, Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News. The Takeout is a great podcast. You should get it. That's what he was just referring to. Also, Agent of Betrayal. This is the Chris and Amy show on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Stages St. Louis presents Disney's Newsies. The smash hit musical Newsies takes you to New York City, where a band of newsboys become unlikely heroes, standing up to the titans of the publishing industry. Disney's Newsies at Stages St. Louis, an uplifting story packed with thrills, incredible dancing and singing, and a timeless message for the whole family. Tickets are available at stagesstlewis.org. It's Disney's Newsies on stage now, stagesstlewis.org.
Hey guys, it's Dave and Rachel from The Dave Glover Show.
So Smart Mouth is the only mouth rinse in the world that has a chemical reaction that makes sure that your bad breath is gone for 12 hours at a time, which means 24 hours a day, zero bad breath.
Yeah, all you have to do is rinse twice and you are covered for 24 hours. That means you never have bad breath. Plus, there's a product to fit whatever your needs are. To learn more, go to their website, smartmouth.com/Glover. And while you're there, you can get a coupon for $2.50 off.
The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols and benefiting the Pujols Family Foundation, returns Monday, September 9th to Topgolf in Chesterfield. Enjoy dinner and drinks, play golf with a celebrity, and support Albert and the Pujols Family Foundation. Limited bays remain. Reserve yours today at Pujols.FamilyFoundation.org or go to KMOX.com/events for more information. The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols, sponsored in part by KMOX and Topgolf.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien High Efficiency Tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Tom Ackerman for Busey Bank. We proudly recognize the Lime Child and Family Center as a building community partner. The center provides high-quality early education and support for families, regardless of their financial situation or a child's development level. Busey is proud to support programs that address all areas of child development, with a special emphasis on the social-emotional skills necessary for future success. Learn more at LeMay.childandfamily.org.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey Bank. The Lee May Child and Family Center has been building community in South County for close to 50 years. In that time, need led to growth. Licensed today for 121 children, the center also offers parents resources, referrals, and support so they can provide more stable homes. We at Busey know strong families mean strong communities. Join us. Get involved. Help your neighbors as we continue building the communities we call home.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Leagues Cup 2024 is here. Cheer on City SC as they take on the Portland Timbers this Friday, August 9th at City Park. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com, starting at just $25.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
I'm Michael Calhoun. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Are you freaking kidding me? No way!
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy?
Well, Ranj, I don't know if you saw this, but this concerns you directly.
Uh-oh.
Well, let me just say it concerns one of your passions, one of your platforms, aka soapboxes. Did you know that Tim Walz, you've heard of him, the VP candidate selected by Kamala Harris?
Yes.
Financial disclosures.
Yes.
Show that Mr. Tim Walz owns zero stock. His wife owns zero stock as well. He has no stock, no securities, no mutual funds, no bonds, no private equities, and no crypto holdings.
It's the anti-Nancy Pelosi route.
They're invested completely in state pensions, including teacher pensions, because they were educators. Yeah, it's interesting that you bring her up because people have been calling Tim Walz a victory for Nancy Pelosi. She is the most powerful Democrat in the party when it comes to influencing major decisions, and she definitely wanted Tim Walz, and this shows just how much sway she has. She's a strong party leader. Well, that's where they differ. Nancy Pelosi's got $250 million in wealth because of her stocks and financial holdings, but Tim Walz has zero, which is interesting because
I love that.
49% of American households don't hold any stock.
That is exactly what I want. And it's one of those jobs that I'm sorry to say that if you accept the position, if you decide that's what you want to do, you should have to understand that you just can't trade individual stocks. You're privy to information that other people aren't. There's too much. It's too ripe for insider trading. I don't like it. They shouldn't be allowed.
So you obviously can't. If you don't want to say if you run for office, you have to get rid of all of it because that would be a financial detriment or maybe deterrent. So what would you do?
You should have to put it all in something like a mutual fund or something. At most, you should be allowed to have
just
mutual
a hands
funds.
off while
401k
you're in office.
Sorry, I mean it sucks because everybody else can do it, but we are not privy to information that you are. I don't think it's fair. I don't think they should be allowed. Did you see that a family of one of the French explorers on the Titan submersible sub that imploded, remember, last summer? A $50 million lawsuit has been filed because they believe the crew and everybody on board knew they were about to die. Because we've all been under the impression that it was very quick. They had no idea it was coming, so it was painless. Here's what they say. While the exact cause of failure may never be determined, experts agree the Titan's crew would have realized exactly what was happening. Common sense dictates the crew were well aware they were going to die before dying. So a $50 million lawsuit has been filed. I think I would be... That's maybe the way I would... I don't want to go that way.
No, I will say this. I would rather know as long as you know it's going to be quick. That's the humanity in this, that they didn't, ideally, it was quick. It was over.
Blues at the Arch Festival coming back this weekend, and artist, singer, guitarist Jeremiah Johnson joins us in studio when we come back on KMOX.
If you're thinking about selling your home, I'm sure there are two things that you want: certainty and the most money, right? This is Debbie Monterey, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that the agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first call when looking for an agent. Gloria does not make empty promises. She provides written guarantees. What does that mean for you? Certainty. Certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage. and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I don't like onions. I'm doing paleo. Do they have gluten-free bagels? You can't juggle every food request for a work event, or can you? EasyCater is the all-in-one tech platform that makes it easy to get restaurant catering for work, with options for any group size, taste, dietary preference, or budget. EasyCater saves your favorite restaurants and orders, which makes reordering a snap. Need to modify an order? No problem. So when it comes to food for work, make it easy on yourself with EasyCater. Start your order at easycater.com.
It's summer in Britain, and the crimes are just getting started.
I found another body.
Stream the best of British crime drama only on BritBox. Don't miss new seasons of acclaimed series like Blue Lights, which Time Out calls Belfast's answer to The Wire.
Back up, Ava!
And The Responder, starring Martin Freeman in his international Emmy award-winning role.
I can feel it. I'm going to crack.
Stream the best of British crime drama on BritBox.
You know, this is why I want to be a detective.
Watch with a free trial today.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we've got clouds. It is 78 downtown at the Arch. Our top story this hour. Tropical storm Debbie made a second landfall this morning in South Carolina on its way up the East Coast. The storm spawned multiple confirmed tornadoes in North Carolina. Governor Roy Cooper.
As you know, there have been multiple reports of tornado touchdowns throughout eastern part of the state. And unfortunately, we have one fatality from that in Wilson County.
5 Red Cross volunteers from the St. Louis area are among a team of 28 who've gone down to Georgia to help in the wake of Debbie. Regional Communications Director Sharon Watson said some team members are in Augusta, Georgia, just waiting for the torrential rains to stop.
Those teams are part of a mobile feeding operation, so they have an emergency response vehicles that go out into the community, and then they're able to provide feeding to people who are maybe in their area that can't get out of their area.
Watson says the team arrived Sunday, but the storm is unusually slow moving. Some members of the team are at shelters in Florida. Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, push ahead today in the Southwest with their battleground state campaign blitz. Campaign reporter Torian Small.
There was an enthusiasm gap that was pretty noticeable. I mean, when I attended President Biden's rallies, this was a curated crowd. They certainly weren't drawing the crowds that we're seeing from Kamala Harris now. But it was also a stark difference to what we were seeing Donald Trump pull in when he would come to these places, when he would hold these massive rallies.
Olympic athletes are being offered lots of gifts, but one in particular is causing some concern. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
South Korean officials say providing Samsung smartphones to North Korean athletes in Paris is a violation of UN Security Council sanctions. A 2017 resolution bans the supply, sale, or transfer of industrial machinery to North Korea. Samsung is a major Olympic sponsor and a South Korean company. The phones were sent to Olympic Village, but officials now say the North Korean athletes never received them. It isn't clear where those phones are.
The KMOX business desk unemployment applications dipped lower from the prior week, but remains slightly elevated.
The Labor Department reports the number of Americans filing for jobless benefits fell last week after a jarring report on weakness in the labor market. Jobless claims for last week fell by 17,000, better than what analysts were expecting, landing at 233,000. This was the first snapshot of the labor market since last week's disappointing jobs report for July, which sent financial markets into a tailspin. With fears, it signaled a recession. The 4-week average of claims, which smooths out some of the volatility, had an increase of 2,500 applications, bringing the total number for the period over 240,000. Some suggest the cooling in the labor market will push the Federal Reserve to accelerate its rate-cutting schedule. I'm Jackie Quinn.
The Dow from Stifel up 544 points to 39,308.
Intervals of clouds and sunshine this afternoon are becoming warmer, high 86. There could be a stray late afternoon or evening shower, partly cloudy overnight, low 65. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds and pleasant with lower humidity, the high 78. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got partly cloudy, 78 in Florissant and St. Peters, and 78 downtown at the Arch. Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the van. That's what my friend said. Call Jerry Kelly, man, JerryKelly.com. Give him a call, even though it's late. JerryKelly.com.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Get paid to save with Empower Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
Blues at the Arch is coming back. It is happening this weekend. It is a terrific event, and we are excited to have back in studio with us. Well, first of all, we've got Jeremiah Johnson, a guitarist and artist, who is here with us. Jeremiah, good to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
It's awesome to have you. I know it's been a really hectic day for you, so you're trying to get set up over there, and you've had a lot going on. We appreciate you stopping by.
Well, it's good. Thankfully, between airport and downtown, Highway 70 is moving at about 85 to 90 mile an hour. So everything was fine.
That's good. Everything was fine. Yeah, I wasn't sure, like, as a musician, like, night is when musicians come alive, right? Like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And I imagine anything before noon feels pretty early.
Yeah.
You feel like your whole life on the road, your whole life touring on stage is late.
It is. But I'm used to getting up because typically we have to drive a long way to get to the next place and that. So, and I do a lot of driving. So I'm good other than the singing sometimes early in the morning. Your voice
It's tough.
That can be tough.
It's tough. We're going to hear from you. We want to hear some of your music in just a moment. We've also got Camille Brooks, who is the Director of Programming and Events at the Gateway Arch. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you all for having us. Jeremiah, thank you for hanging out with me today. We've been, like you said, back and forth a little bit, but just really want to drum up, the excitement. The weather's going to be great this weekend. And so Blues at the Arch, year 9.
Yeah, we're looking at like 80 degrees this weekend.
You could not,
It's perfect.
could not have had a better weekend for this. I mean, when it was 105, I think everyone has doubts like, what am I doing? And then now to have it feel almost like the beginning of fall for a festival on the Arch grounds. I mean, it's perfect.
It's perfect. And the weather's perfect. The music is perfect. But again, the Gateway Arch Park Foundation, we want people to come down to downtown, to the Arch grounds specifically for this event. Just free community, good time, family friendly, like I said.
Yeah, what's the schedule? When do we get started?
So we start tomorrow at 4:45. Music starts then, and we go until 8. We have 2 acts tomorrow, and then we start again on Saturday. We have yoga to some bluesy music.
Yoga?
Yeah, we do.
So is it yoga to live blues?
It is.
Oh my gosh, that's
tomorrow
awesome.
At 11, and then the music, like the artists, start at 12. And so have a long day, a long fun-filled day. We have a fun intermission with the slideshow, doing some slide dancing. We have a fireworks, extravaganza at the end, and then of course ending the weekend with brunch. So. Like
the brunch is on Sunday.
It is.
Yep.
The brunch is on Sunday. It's a ticketed event, but the festival itself on Friday and Saturday are free. Thanks to our partners and our sponsors, visit Missouri.com. So can't leave them out.
Jeremiah, you've played in a lot of places. Have you done anything like this?
Well, I have participated in this before.
Oh, you have before?
And,
okay, great. Yeah.
But, for me, the special thing about it is that Arch Grounds are kind of a St. Louis treasure. And to have families come out and kids come out to enjoy it like I did when I was a kid. I saw Huey Lewis in the news at the VP Fair or whatever. So and all those things touched me and were great memories. And so to be able to do that now with a blues festival like this, I think it's a real special thing that everybody should be proud of.
Yeah.
What would you say? How would you describe the differences between you doing a concert, right? And it's your concert, and then being part of a festival and the energy around that?
Well, what I like about it is it brings different types of people together that you normally wouldn't be together. So, for example, people who follow certain kind of music, it tends to be certain kind of people. So when you have different artists come together, all your families come together as one, and I think that's the strength of it, really. And like you said, kind of beautiful weather. I mean, I don't see how you can beat this thing.
Jeremiah, you grew up here.
I did.
And so how did you get into blues music specifically?
Well, specifically just listening to what's now a classic rock station, but back in the day, that was an open album formatted station here in St. Louis. I'm not going to mention it. I don't know if I can or not. But
Well,
Yeah,
I'll get in trouble.
But
No.
either way, they were playing a lot of stuff that was the early stuff, the Rolling Stones. Most of the blues I got introduced to at first were the British guys, Clapton and Stones and things like that. But then as I got older and could dig in a little more, that's when I started to learn about the Kings and all these artists that really kind of were the pioneers at first started that kind of thing. But almost every type of music has been affected by blues music. There's not really much out there that hasn't.
Well, pretty much most rock and roll.
Yeah,
that's where it starts.
I was thinking like Chuck Berry had
Oh, yeah.
so much blues and like those classic blues bar. I'm not a musician, so forgive me,
but
but the
you're
classic
right.
blues bars like are in Chuck Berry as well. The father of rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's funny that you guys mentioned that because that's kind of the theme of the festival this weekend. And so we have different chords of blues. We're kind of telling a narration of how it started and rooted in gospel and how it, moved to then blues and then R&B. And so you'll hear that, throughout the weekend with the artist as well as the narration that tells the story of blues and its history in St. Louis as well. So
Last time we talked, when you were in studio, we talked about the festival you went to in Grant Park.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so how much of that do you, when you go to something like that, clearly you're trying to look for inspiration, ideas. How much of that did you bring to this?
We brought a few pieces to it. I think, some of the things that they were doing were like highlighting different cities and different, genres through there. So you'll see that in our festival as well. I just think that, the community aspect of it, the food vendors, and just making it really diverse, really, a celebration of culture and music history. Obviously we're celebrating the blues, but again, it is kind of like the father of music almost. So we are happy to be able to go to places like that and then bring that energy, and add to what we have here in St. Louis.
So Jeremiah, you've got a new CD.
Yeah.
That's on pre-order right now, right? We've got a copy of it.
No, you could actually, you can get them now. They're now available. Yeah. And I get them some on my website, jeremiahjohnsonband.com. And that's a live album we recorded on a tour we did up in the New England states. And we just sort of recorded all the shows and put that out and just give people a taste of what it's like to come out and see us live. I just am happy to be able to continue to do what I do and make music and make people happy and, try to take care of my family along the way,
Yeah, and we appreciate you bringing this in to us. It's called Jeremiah Johnson. The album is live in New England, and it is available right now. JeremiahJohnsonBand.com is the website where you can order it. And we know in a moment you're going to play a little something for us. When are you performing this weekend?
I think it's 12:30, if I recall.
Yep. So
Yeah.
On Saturday?
So we're like we're going to kick things off down there. And I'm really looking forward to it because of this nice weather. I wouldn't have been so excited if it was going to be 105 degrees. But
if it was last week, that's
man,
what you might
last
be
week was
getting.
brutal. No, you might even have to bring a sweater. I think for like that last evening, I had to wear a sweater. This is perfect.
Well, you're frail.
Whatever. In front of our guests too. So with the blues, I know there's such a spectrum of different kinds of music that classify as the blues.
Yeah.
Can you kind of describe a little bit of that spectrum and then where your music falls?
Well, I mean, it kind of teeters back and forth from traditional to more rock, as far as blues. I'm sort of in the blues rock genre, sort of a little bit leaning over that direction of the needle. But I love it all. Don't get me wrong. But, you are what you are and you play what you play. And so I'm more of a blues rock guy, which means I kind of rock it up a little bit,
Yep.
And I got a little bit of a country sound to some of my stuff too. And I think all of that, in my opinion, comes from growing up here in St. Louis, where we're a city, but we're we're just minutes from the country.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a neat environment that we have right here in the Midwest, right? You know?
You know what's really interesting to me? I grew up just across the river, and country really wasn't much of a thing for us when I was growing up. It was all grunge because I was,
Right.
Well, Granite
I'm just
City,
a few years younger
you guys
than
are
you.
edgy up there.
Well, I kind of feel like it was all over, but that style of music has become a much bigger thing in the last 25, 30 years in this area.
Yeah. Well, country music, though, I mean, there was a period there in the 80s and that whenever it was the 70s and 80s, it was the top of the charts. When you had your Kenny Rogers and all these kind of. But I had parents that were into country music, so I heard that stuff too. And country music and blues are very, very similar. I mean, they're singing about the same types of hardships that the average person goes through, whether it be love, loss of money, whatever. So I kind of see them as partners in a way. And so I try to bring in a little bit of both.
So again, the event gets started tomorrow. 4:45 is when it opens up.
Yes, it does. 4:45 tomorrow and all the way through Saturday at 8 p.m. So 4 to 8 tomorrow, 12 to 8 on Saturday, and then Blues Brunch.
Blues
And
Brunch to get tickets for that.
yes, to get tickets, you can go to our website at archpark.org/blues. You can also get tickets to our premium experience tent where you can do meet and greets with our artists as well. So you can get to meet Jeremiah in the tent as well as the other guests.
So families show up anytime. The festival itself is free. The brunch, you get tickets. The special access,
right?
To meet the artists, you get tickets. If you are family, you show up. Bring some money because there'll be some food vendors too, right?
Yes, there are food trucks down there. So we have the Mobile with some of the best burgers in the city.
The Mobile, I'm telling you guys.
So good.
Farm raised beef smash burgers. Oh my gosh.
I've had that.
It's delicious. We probably have had them at all of our events. But then we also have Jive Turkey. We have some hibachi. We've got a lot of different, just an array of things. And then, of course, we got Poor Decisions with the alcohol and cocktails. We also have Norwalks with the cool cocktails. So a good array of things. But again, family friendly. It is free. We have a kids corner. So there are kids activities, yard games, a musical petting zoo where they get to play with some guitars and harmonicas and things. Just come down, hang out with us.
Blues at the Arch this weekend starts tomorrow late afternoon, 4:45. Saturday as well. The brunch on Sunday. Archpark.org/events, and you can find Blues at the Arch. Camille Brooks with the Gateway Arch. Thank you for coming in. Jeremiah Johnson with the Jeremiah Johnson Band in studio. Why don't you play us out? We love that you came in. You brought a whole rig too.
Well, carrying this amp up that parking lot was about killed me here.
Well, we appreciate you
doing it. Wasn't even for sure if I was even going to be able to get into the garage because my van's so big.
There you go.
You gotta come down to Blues at the Arch, man. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Bring your friends and family, even the second cousins you don't get along with. We're gonna have a good time, man, right on the river.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE.
We have over $34 trillion in national debt. Where do you think the money to pay for that is going to come from? Taxes. Believe it or not, taxes are at historic lows right now, but how much longer will that last? A Roth IRA conversion might be a good option when planning for your retirement because you can pay lower taxes now and avoid potentially higher taxes later. The FIRA Capital Management Team, formerly Heisey Advisory Group, have seen taxes rise and fall. They know what options you have to potentially reduce the amount of taxes you pay in retirement. Call the team at FIRA Capital Management and schedule your tax analysis today. 314-328-4400. Uncle Sam needs money. Don't let him take it all from you. 314-328-4400. Investing involves risk. Always consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding a Roth conversion, as there may be additional tax considerations. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
We're joined once again by Dr. Colleen Bosler of the Audiology Center. Doctor, let's address the elephant in the room. Over-the-counter hearing aids.
Charlie, it's no secret that a cheap amplified listening device has been on the market for years. But what makes these devices different in recent news is that they now can market them as hearing aids. So there is a newfound interest. But it's important to understand that these devices do not have a prescription for the patient's specific loss, which can be dangerous and ineffective. And at the Audiology Center, I love to help people, educate them, get them to know the major differences, and I want to guide them towards what's best for their individual needs.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center. Make an appointment today at 636-441-7470 or simply online at audiologycenterstl.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Public service announcement from Bart Inman, air conditioning. School starting 2024. So all the juniors and seniors, or possibly even the sophomores. But let's just say if you just know school's not for you because it bores you, trade schools is an option for you. A lot of the high schools have it. For your junior and senior year, you can receive credit upon graduation of high school, get a very, very good job in the trades. When I say very good job, you're building America, you're building the school that you're sitting in, you're building the house that you live in. You get great pride in building something every single day. You don't want to go to college, pick a trade school. I'm partial to Ranken Technical, so pass this along. If you're not in the trades, or if you're a parent or your grandparent, speak with your child or your grandchild. Remember, boys or girls, the trades are available, and you're not putting your kids in debt for a useless piece of paper. God bless.
When you think of equity and independence for people with disabilities through services, partnerships, education, and advocacy, you think of Paraquad. Join us Friday, September 6th for the Shine the Light Gala at Ritz-Carlton, St. Louis. For more info, go to paraquad.org or call 314-289-4200.
At KMOX, our focus is you, your go-to station for local news that matters to St. Louis and the region. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Amy, had some sad news to report.
Oh.
You may have already known this happened, but I got the word last night that one of the most important videos in the history of videos.
I did get this
Do you know
news.
what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. We
Jack,
have it, right?
Well, Jack Carlson is his name.
Yeah.
And he is responsible for one of the greatest videos in the history of recorded anything. And this is it.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before. Get some cups. Why did you do this? Get some cups. For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's some nice headlocks, huh?
So this is Jack Carlson. It is one of the great videos in history that happened on October 11th of 1991, and Jack Carlson died yesterday at the age of 82.
So the one thing I forgot, 1991. Why was this filmed? Was he famous over there?
No, so
Because you didn't film a lot in 1991.
no, he says,
Okay.
and he never strayed away from this, that it was all a mix-up. It was mistaken identity, which caused him to be escorted out of a Chinese restaurant. He was in the middle of a succulent Chinese meal, and he was having lunch with a friend. I mean, who knows? But what's really funny about the entire thing is that there was an interview recorded, and I don't know how recent it was, but you could tell it was fairly recent. And the funny thing is, I was just looking for this 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was just looking for this interview 2 days ago where he sits down with one of the police officers who arrested him.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they became friends. So because this video went viral, and it is one of my favorite things that's ever happened.
So eloquent.
Yeah.
It's not. Here's the thing. It's eloquent and moving without being theatrical. It was, this is democracy manifest.
Is democracy manifest.
A succulent Chinese
Oh my
meal.
God, it's one of the
Succulent Chinese meal.
It's one of the great things that has ever happened.
Get your hand off my penis!
I say that every time I go to the store. I have to say it at least once a trip to the store.
So Ranj has this habit of when we go get coffee or get food, after we order, we're all standing at the counter, and he says loudly, Daddy's got this.
Yeah. I
Which
love
is
to say that.
So uncomfortable and makes you just want to crawl out of your skin or throw up or both. And he does it all the time. I didn't know you also said that.
Well, I'm going to start. This is what I will do when I am at the register or I'm at the self-checkout. It'd be better.
Yeah.
At the self-checkout, I am going to shout this.
Get your hand off my penis!
Just and see how that goes.
What you should do is ask for that's when the attendant comes over, because inevitably you type in a number wrong.
Yeah, then the red light comes
and
on.
the red light comes on.
Are you having an issue? Yes, I am.
Are you waiting to receive my limp penis?
No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. I will not say that. How good is this? This was uploaded to YouTube originally in 2009. It feels like it feels like I saw it when I was 15. I don't know.
I had never seen it. You introduced it to me.
I did just a few months ago.
Mhm.
It's wild that this happened because we were just talking about him not that long ago. All right.
All right.
Amy, Mark scores. Do you have a thing?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
And-
Well, I will let you do that while I go enjoy a succulent Chinese meal. And this is the best day to do it.
It is. It is in his honor. Anyway, speaking of things I don't need to introduce you to, you definitely know about STL Fence Works, because I have been telling you about them ever since I started with KMOX, which is pretty darn cool that they have been with me the whole time, stretching all the way back to the Charlie Brennan Show. And I love working with companies that are family owned and operated, locally owned and operated, and companies that get it. They get St. Louis, they get us, they get our community. That means a lot when you're making a big investment in your home. And whenever you are improving the outdoor space, the fence around your yard, a deck, it's an investment. It's adding space and value to your home. You want to make sure you can trust the craftsmanship. You want to make sure you can trust the product. And with STL FenceWorks, you can. They have, in fact, a lifetime warranty that surpasses anything else that's offered in the industry. And they have that on their products. And if you're looking for a fence, I did just want to remind you that they've partnered with Jareth Product as well as National Vinyl Products to provide you with a whole selection of fence offerings, aluminum, vinyl, and they're all wholly sourced and manufactured right here in the U.S. Visit them today at stlfenceworks.com, stlfenceworks.com.
One of the things that surprises people after they retire is how much they still owe in taxes. That's usually because nobody showed them how to create tax-free income. Well, the good news is it's not too late. Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group can show you strategies that can help lower your tax obligations both now and in the future. Join Steve All for an exclusive educational workshop focusing on taxes in retirement. August 22nd and 27th. This event is complimentary, but you do need to qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
We've got clouds. It is 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. Taylor Swift's 3 concerts in Vienna, Austria canceled after the government confirmed a planned attack on the stadium. Swifties said they were disappointed but determined to celebrate, gathering in the city to sing, dance, and exchange bracelets. We've got road work on 44 going west at Route AH, also on 364 going east at 94, and also 6440 eastbound before McKnight. Residual delays possible because of a crash there. Weather sponsored by DesignAirService.com, St. Louis's leading air conditioner and repair service. Clouds and sun today, high 86. For tonight, shower in spots with a low of 65. Tomorrow's high just 78. It is 79 right now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Charlie Brennan here. If your AC stops working, don't suffer. Design Air Heating and Cooling offers same-day emergency service. Call Design Air at 314-739-1600. DesignAirService.com.
With the new year, it's time to make sure you have the best vision for 2024. That means scheduling your annual eye exam with Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000.
Broadcasting from the Underline Tree Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
At California Psychics, we know that doubt can get in the way of your relationship. One moment you're enjoying a romantic date, the next you're thinking,
is this guy right for me? Could I spend my life with someone who has more hair on his feet than on his head?
Then you realize you've been thinking out loud.
Wait, come back,
Thankfully, California Psychics can clear away the dating doubt. Our accurate psychics are available 24/7 to give you all the guidance you need to make the right relationship choices. California Psychics is the psychic service more people trust. That's why we can guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 80% off their first reading. I can smell love in the air already. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Leagues Cup 2024 is here. Cheer on City SC as they take on the Portland Timbers this Friday, August 9th at City Park. Tickets are on sale now at SeatGeek.com, starting at just $25.
I'm Frank Ladd. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt.
I'm Cardinals outfielder Lars Nootbaar.
I'm Woodson Contreras.
Now, Chris and Amy give you the birds.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
He's ready. He deals a swing and a miss for a Redbird winner. Light up the night downtown St. Louis, as the Cardinals have won this series, taking the first two games with the Tampa Bay Rays. The final tonight, 5-2.
Go, Paulie!
Paulie's a great name. Watch your mouth, Paulie.
Go, Paulie! What'd you do for Paulie? Anything?
Want me to get you beer, Paulie?
Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, we're here because of you.
Today's Cardinals Report brought to you by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Cardinals have already won the series against the Tampa Bay Rays, and that's the thing they need to be doing, is winning series from here on out. Well, they've done that. Now an opportunity to sweep that series, a 5:20 pregame show. That'll happen this evening, 6:15 first pitch, and it will be Kyle Gibson starting for the Cards tonight. On the Quiver River Electric guest line we go, and here's Matt Pauley, our sports fella, who's with us now. What's up, Matt?
Not much. How are you guys?
Doing great. So this is a good series win, and now that you've got the opportunity, might as well just step on the gas and win the whole series, right?
Yeah. Sweep the series. You're in this opportunity if you can win tonight. This is a Rays team that was playing some really good baseball coming into the series. I think they'd won 7 of their last 10. They kind of sold off on the deadline, but they'd still done a nice job and won some games and played themselves back into playoff contention. So for the Cardinals to win these 2 games, winning them in 2 very different kind of ways, one big inning in the first game, and then yesterday they were able to come up with those hits with runners in scoring position. 4 of the top 5 hitters in the lineup had multiple hits. So this has been a good series for the Cardinals so far.
It has been a good series for the Cardinals, who are trying to make up ground in the Central Division race. And as we have been talking for weeks now, there's not a whole lot budging there. They're still 6 games back of the Brewers, but they're 2 games out of a wild card spot right now. The Braves have the 3rd wild card. The Mets are right outside by a half game looking in, and so they're a game and a half in front of St. Louis. I imagine that it's going to just sort of remain this way for the next several weeks, isn't it? Where all of these teams constantly jostling, a lot of movement, a lot of, one day you look at what the standings are and the 3 playoff teams are not the same 3 playoff teams as tomorrow, and so on. It's just going to kind of be like this, I think.
Yeah, and that's the one benefit of the Brewers and Braves playing right now, that even if the Brewers are going to win those games, at least the Braves are being knocked down a peg or 2 in the wild card race. They're now holding the final wild card spot. They're playing some really tough baseball right now. But the Diamondbacks yesterday, they swept a doubleheader from Cleveland. They've been playing good baseball. The Mets have been playing good baseball. The Padres, they survived in extra innings yesterday. They've been playing good baseball. So it's going to be a challenge for sure for the Cardinals to get back into a playoff spot, but it's not impossible. They've still got a bunch of games left with the Brewers. I think that's why we're not really talking just wild card. Generally 6 back at this time of the year. That's challenging, but they've got enough head-to-head matchups that they'll be able to, if they can have success, and they haven't had success against Milwaukee this year, but if they can have success, that's going to be their opportunity to knock down, the deficit in the Central. But until then, just win as many games as you can. Hopefully some of these teams are going to be playing against each other, so you're essentially guaranteed to gain at least a game if you can win on somebody every day. If you keep doing that, you're going to be in a good spot at the end of the season.
They've got a home series against the Brewers that starts on the 20th. So
It's 6 games total, right? 6 games total
6
left against the Brewers.
Yes.
Yeah.
3
So,
here and 3 there.
That is like you said, Matt. That's a potential huge swing. It just the Cardinals just have to be able to beat them. Yeah, you got to take care of business.
And they've been terrible against the Brewers this year. They're 1-6 or 1-7 against Milwaukee. They won that game on Mother's Day, and we talked so much about their records since Mother's Day. That was the day that Ollie got thrown out. That was when they really started playing good baseball. But that was their first win this season against Milwaukee. I think it's 1-6 that they are against them right now.
Is there really something to the phrase when they say, "Man, they've really got the Cardinals number"? Is that mean yeah, they've really got something of the way their game matches up against the Cardinals, or is it just a coincidence that the Cardinals happen to be having, not their best games when they play Milwaukee?
Yeah, I think this year it's more of a coincidence than anything. I think the Cardinals, who they are now, and the Cardinals, who they played the Brewers in the first two series, are two very different teams. So I wouldn't apply that to this year's matchup between these two, and we'll see what happens over the next 6. But generally speaking, yeah, absolutely. There are times where, for whatever reason, a team just happens to really match up well against another team, and they have tons of success against them, and you can't really understand why. That definitely happens, not just in baseball, but in all sports.
Matt, I know we're still pretty focused on this season, but I do have a question about what happens beyond 2024. Derek Gould in his mailbag talking about Paul Goldschmidt and saying that the Cardinals and both sides are interested in potentially making something happen beyond this season. What do you think about that possibility of signing Goldschmidt after he becomes a free agent?
He really hasn't played well this year. His OPS is 200 points below his career OPS. He was okay last season, but he wasn't great, so he's trending in the wrong direction. If you bring him back on a one-year deal and you don't pay him a ton of money, and you've established the fact that if he doesn't play better, Alec Burleson's going to be the first baseman, and he's going to be kind of a bench guy more than anything else. If he's okay with knowing that he's got to win that job, which is kind of funny to talk in those terms about Paul Goldschmidt, a guy who won the National League MVP just 2 seasons ago, as long as you've got some sort of second plan in case his season next year were to look a lot like his season this year, and as long as you're not spending tons and tons and tons of money on him, I'd be okay with it. But that's a lot of ifs, and I have to wonder whether or not there'd be a team out there that would give him more of a guarantee.
Certainly you wait till the offseason to even consider that. But if he's not here, it makes it that's a pretty big hole there. And again, as you've mentioned, he's not playing the same. But how do they, let's say they move on from him, what direction do you think they'll go?
If it was my choice, I would put Alec Burleson at first base. You've got a bunch of guys in the outfield who you can put out there. Jordan Walker should at some point be back with the Cardinals and be an everyday guy. So I think it slots in perfectly fine for Burleson to move into the first base spot. If Nolan Gorman can, and Kevin Wheeler and I talk about this a lot, so this is more of a Wheeler thought than me, but Kevin says all the time about Nolan Gorman maybe being at first base. I love the idea of having a second baseman who can hit you 30 home runs. That just doesn't happen very often. So I think you lose some of Gorman's effectiveness if you move him from second to first because of the production you normally get at first. But there's definitely options. There's even I don't think Wilson Contreras is going to finish his Cardinals contract as the everyday catcher. When he signed, we said this is a guy that could maybe transition to first, could be more of a DH type player. Do you start working him a little bit at first? Ivan Herrera is a really good right-handed bat who's not getting an opportunity right now because Pedro Paez's defense has shown. So, there's options. I could go on and on, but there's definitely options.
We've got our guy, Buffalo Justin, sending in a text message here. Wants to know what you think went wrong or downhill for Nolan Gorman and Jordan Walker.
So Walker, I think it's an approach thing. He has done things his way his entire career. It doesn't quite work at the big league level. You've got to lift the ball just a little bit more than he's been doing. And he's young. That's the bottom. He's a young prospect developing. And I know that he had a really good second half of the season last year with the Cardinals, but development is not a linear sort of thing. And this is someone who was basically in high school, 4 years ago? So it's going a little bit slower for him. I think he's a little bit slow to accept some changes, but I'm not worried about it because of his age. The Gorman thing, he just strikes out a lot. And he's got to find a way to just be a little bit more consistent in terms of making contact, because when he makes contact, I don't care about the strikeouts when he's hitting home runs and he's hitting doubles. But when those strikeout numbers are what they are, plus he's hitting around 200, that just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a really big deal. You've got to hit for power. You have to get extra base hits if you're a high strikeout guy. That's just the deal. And if you're not, then you're not contributing enough. You can live with striking out, right, Matt? As long as you're producing in other ways. He's just not doing that right now.
Yeah, I mean, if his OPS is above 800 and he's hitting 30 home runs and he strikes out, 1.5 times a game, I don't care.
Right. Hey, Steven Matz, he had his rehab start. What's the latest on him? When should we expect him back?
It's still pretty early. He's had 2 starts at Memphis. The last time he threw 50 pitches, went 2 1/3. So he's still a little ways out there. Stretching him out as a starter, I don't know. Like I feel like at this point, if he's going to impact the major league club, he's going to impact it as a relief pitcher. I don't completely understand the starting thing. Lance Lynn is supposed to be back sooner than later. So even if you wanted to make the argument, well, Andre Palante is in the rotation, you could pull him out and put Matz in. Even if that were to happen, I think Lynn's going to be back before Matz is. So that's a non-starter anyways. But if it wasn't, I don't know what stretching him out right now really does for you. I would like to see them focus on him as a relief pitcher.
With these injuries that we're talking about, Matz has been out, just hasn't been available enough for them. Lance Lynn with the injury, Michael Ciani's out for another 3 weeks or so. With all of this, let's say we get through the end of August, we get into September. In terms of the standings, what will make you feel comfortable if they're not necessarily in a playoff position? What number will make you feel like, okay, we're still good here?
From a divisional standpoint, if you're just trying to jump over one team, 3.5 number. From a wild card standpoint, I combine that with how many teams you have to jump over. Sometimes it's not even the game's back. It's the
Oh no. I think the
you're
there
back.
he is.
We lost
you for a second, buddy.
Oh, sorry. I'm driving. So yeah, 3 or so at that point, and it depends on how the wild card depends on how many teams you need to jump over as well.
Okay, Matt Pauley, appreciate it as always. Drive carefully.
All right, sounds good, guys.
All right, that's Matt Pauley. Normally, he's got duties for pre and post game coverage. He has other affairs tonight.
He does.
So he will not be on, but Joe Pott has it at 5:20 pregame show. 6:15 first pitch. Kyle Gibson is going for the Cardinals at Busch Stadium tonight. There are tickets available if you want to stop in. Should be a decent night tonight, too.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
yeah,
you can listen on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, where you can also now leave us a voice message.
So, and we actually want you to do that right now, because if we get to 50 voice messages today,
yes,
we get to go to Six Flags.
Our boss is going to send us to Six Flags for a nice outing.
Yeah, Chris and Matt and me, we all get to go to Six Flags. So what you need to do is open the Odyssey app, download it if you haven't downloaded it yet, and then go to KMOX and click on the main KMOX page on the Odyssey app, and you cannot miss it.
There's a little mic icon.
It's a mic icon. It's so easy. I actually left a message for us during the commercial break.
Hey, Steve, when you send Chris and Amy to Six Flags, did you know that you're going to be sending 4 lucky listeners with them? Wow, that is so cool. Thank you.
That is cool. Wow.
That was not promised, Deborah.
What?
Her name was Deborah. Thank you for the voice message. That was not in the deal.
Well,
okay.
First of all, the deal, we have to tell Steve about the deal.
We probably should.
But listen, if we get 50, we get to go to Six Flags. Is my voice message... I mean, I know I left it so long ago. We've had so many come in, but I also left a voice message during the commercial break. But we need you to do that now.
Yep. Get on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, download it. It's totally free. And you'll see that little mic icon on the KMOX page when you go to it and leave us a voicemail.
Yeah, we can get to some of your voice messages next, probably.
We can. We're going to be talking with Crystal Quaid, who is the Democratic candidate for governor of Missouri. We spoke to Mike Kehoe, the Republican, yesterday. Crystal Quaid will join us at 12 o'clock. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2024 with the Turtles. Jay and the Americans. The Association. Badfinger. The Vogues. And the Cowsills. Friday, August 16th, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Get ready for the all-new Athleta Presents Gold Over America Tour. Join Simone Biles and America's best gymnasts for a night of action-packed gymnastics. October 15th at the Family Arena. Fun for the whole family. You and your kids will love this high-energy spectacle. Music, lights, breathtaking flips, and Gold Squad dancers. Let's GOAT! October 15th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at goldoveramericaTour.com.
The pitch.
Do you dream about calling Cardinals games?
Goldschmidt swings and he hits
If so, the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum is for you. Learn about play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and working with pro athletes from the best broadcasters in the business. John Rooney, Chip Carey, Rick Horton, Brad Thompson, and more. The Sportscasters Forum is Thursday, September 19th at Live by Lowe's. Tickets include 3 educational sessions, lunch, and a ticket to that evening's Cardinals game. For details, go to MissouriBroadcasters.org.
Summertime is the best time to enjoy the outdoors and enhance the appearance of your home. Banner Construction can make your home the showplace of the neighborhood with maintenance-free James Hardy siding and beautiful Pella replacement windows. Drive up to your home with a renewed pride. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. Get a free in-home design and estimate. Call 314-569-1050. And have a banner day. 314-569-1050.
What if I told you your home movies are already past their prime? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box stops this fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos too. Visit legacybox.com/value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/value.
Did you know you can unlock the equity from your current home and stay in it while you find your next home or while your new home is being built? Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert, can do that for you. Here's a problem that many home sellers find themselves in. They want to sell their home, but where will they move? Plus, they need the funds from their current home to go purchase the next home. Well, Gloria gets it. And that's why she created her Sell and Stay program, which lets you sell your home, get the cash, and stay in that home for up to 12 months. Gloria Liu thinks of every dilemma a home seller goes through and provides a guaranteed solution. If you need the cash from your current home to buy your next home, here's my recommendation. Call the agent I trust, Gloria Liu, and ask her about her Sell and Stay program. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
I'm Joe Pott. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Hi, I listen to your show every day. I woke up Saturday morning to try to put it on and was very sad that it was Saturday and you weren't on.
Oh,
how many days of the week do you want us to work, Donna?
That's so sweet.
Isn't 5 enough?
That's really, really sweet.
Come on, man.
Hey, I know we're going to get to more voice messages, but before we do, speaking of someone who's not working these days, the White Sox fired their manager, Ron.
Oh, those stupid idiots.
Yeah.
Oh, what the dumbest. Oh, yeah. Pedro Grafal is dead. Yeah, that's what happens when you get fired. Yeah, Pedro Grafal, after a 21-game losing streak, 2 losing streaks of at least 14 games, and the worst record maybe in history. It depends what'll happen by the end of the year.
Yeah.
But how much did you? So I tweeted. They made the announcement today,
Mhm.
and I retweeted it, and they said, "Hey, we have let go of our manager, Pedro Grafal," and I retweeted it with "already." Like, what is 4 months?
That's one of your best tweets ever.
I know. I mean,
already.
It took you 4 months. The dudes.
That
oh my
might
God.
be your best tweet of all time.
Literally the worst team in the history of baseball. If it all came to an end right now.
You know what's weird? I
So-
think Elon Musk does not want me to interact with you because I never see your tweets and I'm following you.
Oh, that's good.
I never
It's
see
probably for the best. You can follow her at Amy Marks Kors. I am at Chris Ranji. We together are at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter.
Hi, Chris and Amy. This is TJ from Illinois. Amy, love you to death. Hope you get your trip to Six Flags. Ranj, he's more of a curmudgeon. Kind of reminds me of a younger version of Jeff Dunham's Walter. Y'all have a good day.
Okay.
Aw.
I'll take it. That's fine.
You've been called worse things than curmudgeons. I really thank you to everyone who's really helping us get to Six Flags. Again, I think we actually need 75 now.
Yeah, we have to have 75 messages.
Voice messages.
So if you get the Odyssey app,
Mhm.
AUDACY, to Donna, who messaged us earlier,
Yep.
you can listen to us on Saturday morning if you want. Just use the app and
Oh
go
my
back and
gosh.
get the podcast.
I get the podcast. I mean, I do that.
Yes.
I'm like, wow, what a great show.
And
that
while-
I'm on.
I am so good.
I'm hilarious.
And while you're on it, you can leave us a voice
I know.
message with
It's
the
so
little
fun.
icon. It's right next to the listen live button. It just looks like a microphone. You just tap it.
Just make sure you're on the KMOX page. And then that voice, that microphone, it's calling your name.
It's so good. I love that we have.
Amy, I love the show.
Hi, Mimi. How your
Whoa.
show?
Oh, that's adorable.
That's adorable.
That is adorable.
That counts as 2.
It does. That was two
That
people
was 2
on it.
people. So we're getting closer to Six Flags, baby.
And both of them probably out of our demo. That's
Listen, the 9 and under.
well,
We're
we
huge.
slay with the 9 and under
Oh
crowd.
my gosh. They love us.
They love us so much.
Yeah.
And I hope Amy doesn't puke on the Ferris wheel tomorrow.
Thank
You would puke on a Ferris wheel.
First of all, I passed out on the mine train. I didn't throw up. You know what? I don't have a
Okay,
lot going for I
all
do
right,
not
so
have a lot going for
let
me, but I
say
am
something.
not a puker.
Let me say something.
Yeah.
Anybody who has been to Six Flags
Yeah.
knows what the mine train
Yes,
is.
they
For
do.
people who don't, it is the most docile of all roller coasters you could ever go on. It's great. I love it. It's the gateway into real roller coasters.
There is a
And
tunnel
you passed
hill.
out on it?
There's a tunnel hill. You go down into the
I
tunnel
know.
and then you drop in the dark. And it wasn't even that. It was one of the turns afterwards. I think the G-force of the mine train is underestimated.
Oh my God.
Listen,
man.
but I'm not a puker, and I'm proud of that.
Good for you. But you passed out on it?
I do. I'm a fainter. My mom wants to get me a life alert because I do faint a lot.
I bet Crystal Quaid hasn't passed out on the mine train.
I'm gonna ask her.
Democratic candidate for Missouri Governor Crystal Quaid is joining us when we come back. It is Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
It's August already. Summer is over. The kids are going back to school, but it might be a perfect time for you to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck and start planning ahead for next spring and summer. Or maybe you're thinking about ways to use your outdoor space more year-round. Well, Chesterfield Fence and Deck does a fantastic job with custom sunrooms and screen rooms so that you can really get a 3 or 4 season use and really enjoy fall and winter in your outdoor space. They also do a great job at Chesterfield Fence and Deck with fences and decks, patios, pergolas, and so much more. So whether you're looking to get a project done this year or planning ahead for next, they do free in-home design and free in-home estimates, or stop by and see Chesterfield Fence and Deck at their beautiful showroom and warehouse in the Chesterfield Valley. Mention me, Debbie Monterey, and they'll offer you 20% off your next project. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. Visit them online now at chesterfieldfence.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt?
talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge. Oh, you people are wonderful. Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a cloudy sky, currently 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Our top story this hour, Tropical Storm Debbie made a second landfall this morning, continues its way up the East Coast. Flooding concerns are impacting South Carolina as rainfall has been drenching parts of the state since Tuesday. Daniel Rickenman is the mayor of South Carolina's capital city, Columbia.
We actually were really prepared for this after, we had been through a similar event in 2015. So our city manager, Teresa Wilson, and the executive team here, all our departments were really ahead of this. And we dodged a bullet, to be honest with you. But I think we were really prepared for the worst, and we ended up in the best situation we could.
The Red Cross of Missouri and Arkansas sent a team of 28 volunteers south to help in the aftermath of Debbie. Communications Director Sharon Watson says that includes 5 from the St. Louis area who left Sunday. Some team members are in Augusta, Georgia, just waiting for torrential rains to stop.
The storm has just stopped and has been so slow moving that it's just dumping so much water and unfortunately causing tremendous amounts of flooding. So it's really unlike a lot of hurricanes that, of course, come in quickly and move out quickly, and then you can go in behind it and get to the areas that have been damaged.
The team at Augusta is part of a mobile feeding operation. Other team members are in Florida helping at area shelters. The U.S. is sending more military power to the Mideast. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
F-22 stealth warplanes arrived in the region today. They're part of a bigger U.S. military presence in the Middle East ahead of an expected Iranian counterattack on Israel. A military statement says the advanced planes will help mitigate a regional escalation by Iran or its proxies.
The U.S. orders additional warships to the region as well. It's the first day of work for Boeing's new CEO, and CBS News has obtained Kelly Ortberg's first day email to employees. Here's Vicki Barker.
There could be no sugarcoating the truth that Boeing's reputation has been mauled over a series of engineering and production mistakes that led to 2 crashes and 1 major accident. In his memo, the 64-year-old Ortberg is promising transparency and tells employees he's confident that together they can restore trust in the Boeing name.
Ortberg came to Boeing from Rockwell Collins, where he was the CEO. The Dow from Stifel up 493 points to 39,256. Roadwork cleared on 44 East at Six Flags. Roadwork on 6440 East at 270. The left lane is closed there.
Intervals of clouds and sunshine and warmer this afternoon, high 86. There could be a shower in the area late this afternoon to this evening. Partly cloudy overnight, though 65. More sun than clouds and comfortable tomorrow. The high to 78. I'm AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Right now, it's a cloudy sky, 80 downtown at the Arch, sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Get paid to save with Empower Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
People would like to have their community safe again, and I'm hopeful that Mayor Jones, along with Chief Tracy, who I'm a big fan of, and now you've got a great prosecutor in Gabe Gore, that we can put our heads together on how to get safety back into the community, because St. Louis cannot afford to be on the front page of the New York Times.
That was Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe on our show yesterday. After winning the primary, he is now the Republican candidate for governor of Missouri. And joining us now is Crystal Quade. She won the Democratic primary. She will be running against Mike Kehoe in November in Missouri's gubernatorial race. Crystal Quade, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you've got a road ahead of you now that I imagine includes a lot of campaigning. And I'll just throw it out there. I know Missouri has been historically kind of purple. We've had plenty of Democratic governors, but as of late, it has been a pretty red state. How do you approach the hill that you'll be climbing coming November? Or assuming you have a hill, maybe you don't feel that way.
No, we absolutely understand the numbers that we have here in Missouri, but I'll tell you, we're running this race just like every other race that I've ran, and that means showing up. You know, in 2016, as a Democrat down in Southwest Missouri in Springfield, I had my yard signs right next to Donald Trump yard signs in the exact same yard. And it wasn't because we agreed on everything, but it was because when we talked to Missourians about the things that mattered most to them, everyone we talked to cared about public education funding, or people talked about how it was so hard to find childcare that was affordable, or being scared to go to the doctor's office because they don't want to go bankrupt, right? These are nonpartisan issues, and that's how we've been able to win our races so far, and we're going to do the exact same thing with this governor's race.
You heard from Mike Kehoe, as Amy mentioned, and when he spoke to us yesterday, he said he wanted to essentially, he believes in conservatism and wants there to be a strong conservative foundation here in the state of Missouri. Where exactly do you differ from him? Certainly, I don't expect that you're going to say you're also conservative, but where do you differ from him and his platform?
You know, what I would say is I jumped into this race for governor after 8 years in Jefferson City, and watching the Republican-controlled legislature and our governorship not do much to invest in Missourians. I mean, everyone knows that we've seen nothing but infighting. There's so little productivity that's actually helping folks day to day. And we hear more about these big political national fights than, again, addressing the things that I previously talked about that really impact everyday Missourians. And so where I would say we would differ is that I don't like the way that Missouri's government has been ran over the last few years. And I want to see a government that is prioritizing the things that impact everyday Missourians, not our corporations, not our big donors, but just making folks' lives easier.
Is there anything specifically that you don't like other than them paying attention to more national issues than local?
Well, I mean, I would say specifically here in Missouri, of course, front and center is going to be this conversation around getting politicians out of our doctor's offices. You know, I talk to folks all across the political spectrum in every corner of our state, and a lot of pro-life, self-identified Republicans who are tired of this government overreach that we continue to see. And I would say it doesn't just stop in the doctor's offices. This past couple years, we have seen the Republicans in Jefferson City try to completely defund our public libraries, or going down to the fact that our local municipalities can't even determine whether or not they have clean drinking water anymore. And by that, I mean where our big corporations come in. There's been conversations around the foreign ownership of farmland that I know the lieutenant governor voted for. And of course, things like right to work, where, again, he was a sponsor of that when he was in the state Senate. And I absolutely will be a governor that puts workers first.
When you're looking at issues like the issue of like union and labor, or as you mentioned, the doctor's offices and reproductive rights, how do you see yourself operating if, let's say, you are the governor breaking the Republican trifecta, but there's still Republican control of the House and the Senate? How does your role fit then?
That is why I am so proud to have won this primary because absolutely, if we win in November, Republicans are still going to control the House and Senate, and we know that. But I am the longest serving leader for either party since term limits have been enacted. And what that means is I've been able to work with the other side of the aisle so much and do the dirty word that folks like to call now compromise, right? Like I believe in compromise. Missouri, as you mentioned at the top of this, is a purple state. We've got folks who support issues across the political spectrum, like Medicaid expansion, for example. And it's so important that we have a leader who understands how to work with the different conversations at the table. Just because, I am a Democrat doesn't mean that that's all I'm going to be trying to lead with are these big partisan issues. I'm going to do exactly what I've done in Jefferson City the last 8 years, and that's come to the table, find places where we can work together. And I've built those relationships. And so I feel very confident that we'll be able to get to work on day one.
We are talking with Democrat Crystal Quade running for governor in the state of Missouri against Mike Kehoe. And for me personally, compromise is important. I want politicians to do that. I'm not exactly sure how much the general public does anymore, but that's something I want. What do you consider to be non-negotiable, however? You say compromise is good, but are there things you believe to be non-negotiable?
Of course. And I know that everybody does. But for me, it is really things that have to do with human rights. And of course, we're going to have this ballot initiative in the fall. When it comes to reproductive rights, I would put that in the same bucket. And I will never take money away from our public education system. I am a product of public schools, the very first in my family to actually graduate high school, went on to a public university. And that is a non-negotiable for me, is taking public taxpayer money and sending it to private institutions as well.
When it comes to reproductive rights, where do you fall on the line or the spectrum, I should say, of viewing abortion from, I know there are Republicans who are down to the heartbeat bill, then there are a lot of Americans in the middle, and then there are those who go to the full term. Where do you fall in that sense?
Yeah, I'm fully supportive of the ballot initiative that we're going to see this year, which essentially brings it back to viability. Look, our politicians are not, some of them are, a handful, but they're not doctors. And we don't know what's going on in people's personal lives. And so I don't think that government has a role in telling people what to do in their doctor's offices. And so I'm supportive of the initiative that we have. I'm excited to see what happens. I definitely believe that Missourians are going to be supporting this measure. And as governor, I will make sure and uphold that will of the voters.
Kehoe appears to have the support of farmers and many businesses around the state. Why do you believe you can appeal to the same groups of people?
Well, I know that I can because I have. I was invited to speak at the Cattlemen's Association dinner this year as the only Democrat who was running allowed to speak at that event. Of course, I know that Kehoe has official endorsements, but again, I've built relationships with folks across the aisle and have been working with them for a long time. But I would also say, I grew up in rural Southwest Missouri. I come from a very working class family. As mentioned, I'm the first to graduate high school. My mom was a waitress up until actually just last month, and my father worked in a factory. And so I know what is important to people. I know what it means to have to balance trying to decide paying your mortgage or your utility bill. These are real life, everyday issues that folks are dealing with. And I understand that.
One of the big issues when we talk about the state of Missouri is crime in St. Louis and in Kansas City. Obviously, we're here in St. Louis. We talked with Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe and about the a potential state takeover of the police force in St. Louis. What is your position on the St. Louis police force, which, we will acknowledge is over 300 police officers short? What is your position on a state takeover, no state takeover in St. Louis?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the 300 officers because that was exactly a thing that I was going to bring up. I do not support taking away local control from our police department and or from the locals there. And I would say when we look at Kansas City as the only city in the country that is of that size that it does not have local control of their police force, Kansas City's crime numbers continue to increase. So we know that's not working. I want to see a different approach to working with the folks on the ground and our law enforcement officers to figure out why we can't get those 300 positions filled. Should the state be investing to incentivize to make that better, to help with funding and training? And then again, I want to have a conversation around local control and crime in a real way. We tried really hard this year to have conversations around juveniles in our urban areas carrying firearms. Again, I grew up in rural Southwest Missouri, and having, access to a gun as a teenager was very different. Being able to protect our cows versus somebody in Springfield or St. Louis having access to that. And when I talk to law enforcement officers all across the state, what they tell me is that youth crime right now is skyrocketing, and there is literally nothing that they can do to protect their communities because of the way that our laws are set up at the state level. And so I would, again, really like to have conversations around more local control. What can we be doing to support our law enforcement officers and really giving them the tools that they need to be successful? And what laws should we be passing on a state level that help them do that?
So what would you say to somebody who says, if we do pass stricter laws on long guns or assault weapons or whatever, that might be great for a city, for an urban area, but I live in a rural area. I don't need that. I don't need that sort of enforcement.
Exactly.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So how do
Which
you
is why,
approach that?
yeah. Which is why I think we should be talking about this on a local level, because what's happening in St. Louis is not the same of what's happening where I grew up in Webster County. And quite frankly, I don't want folks in St. Louis telling Webster County what to do and vice versa. I think we need to be having more localized, honest conversations about this. And I don't think that when it comes to crime, it's a one size fits all solution here. Absolutely not. And I know that folks throughout the state don't want different folks telling them what to do. And so I would really like to see localizing, letting the local communities have conversations and vote on these issues in partnership with their local law enforcement.
I know you've told us some of the issues that you find important, that are pressing, but let's say you become the governor of Missouri. Your first two priorities, do you have two that you would place up at the very top that you would first take action on?
Absolutely. I mean, the first thing is it has nothing to do with the legislature, but it is making sure that our state government is delivering on the services and promises that we have put out front. I don't know if y'all have seen, but in the news a lot lately, Missouri has been getting dinged for extremely long wait times on the phone of dropping children off Medicaid who should be qualified. Right now, we have child care centers who are closing their doors because Missouri is not paying its bills on time. And those are basic state services that fall under the governor's administration. And so on day one, I will jump in there and make sure that we're being efficient and effective with people's money, but we're delivering on what our promises are for basic services. I can't tell you how many people talk to me about calling a different state office and not getting through, or their phone call getting dropped, or people complaining about going to the DMV and it taking too long. We have limited lunch hours, and we're failing as a state when it comes to those basic services.
Based on Kehoe's primary campaign, I don't imagine he's much of a flamethrower type in terms of how he campaigns. What do you expect this race to be like between the two of you in terms of the tenor of it?
I am Lieutenant Governor Kehoe and I have a good relationship. I've worked with him for many years in Jefferson City, and I am excited to have real policy conversations versus these ridiculous flamethrower commercials that I know everybody was very sick of. So I am expecting and hopeful for a campaign that really talks about our policy differences and puts those things front and center.
There are so many cultural issues. I know that people that tend to dominate the headlines. I know the Missouri legislature, as well as Governor Parson, have signed different bills that restrict transgender care or activities in sports with transgender athletes in sports not of their biological sex that they were born with. Where is your stance on that?
Yeah, I voted against those bills. And where my stance is, again, is I don't think politicians need to be telling parents how to raise their kids and what to do, as long as where things are medically accurate and safe. And again, what is frustrating for me is when Missouri continues to rank last in public education funding and teacher pay, when we rank last in state employee pay, when we have maternal mortality rates of third world countries, we've lost 18 rural hospitals in the last decade. We still have places in Missouri where they don't have broadband internet access. I mean, again, there are so many issues that impact everyone's day-to-day lives. And instead of addressing any of these things, what we see out of these guys in Jefferson City is using these big political, very divisive politically conversations to win their next primary elections. And I know folks understand that because, again, referencing back to the commercials that we've been seeing, there were so many primaries happening this year and so many elected officials who only cared about trying to run further to the right or the left to try to win these races and not prioritizing the things that matter to Missourians every single day. And as governor, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shift the conversations to the things that are impacting people's lives.
Democratic candidate for Missouri Governor, Crystal Quade, is with us on KMOX. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being with us today. And we would like to talk again in the lead up to the general election November. That would be great if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me, and I look forward to coming back.
That is Crystal Quade with us on KMOX. And what I'm hearing is kind of what I think a lot of people are hopeful of, that we're not so extreme here. Right? We're a little, she may have policy differences from Kehoe, who has differences from her, but we're not talking about fringe people here. We're not talking about fringe candidates.
Missouri has its issues, but I will give the state of Missouri a huge compliment on the two nominees, the two candidates, I should say. The two candidates in the gubernatorial race seem very reasonable.
Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Home values are sky high and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked, so if you're thinking about selling, it's time, except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Life can throw us curveballs, like the car accident that put me in a coma 30 years ago. We all have bumps in the road. Lucky for us, we have Renner to get our garage door back on track. Click RENNER door STL.com today. Giddy up!
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Seidman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are focusing on lung cancer, and joining me is Dr. Whitney Brandt.
treatment of lung cancer has really made dramatic changes over the years. Lung cancer screening, more patients are getting detected earlier, and survival is getting better. In addition, just with patients who have more advanced cancers, there are better treatments.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
At 1-800-GOT-JUNK, we believe.
We believe in repurposing the junk we make disappear.
We donate the donatables so that a new family can love them.
Those items get a new life.
We believe in recycling the recyclables.
Raw material for brand new products.
And we believe in returning natural resources to the earth. And we believe in you.
We know you want to make a difference.
Let us help you do that.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable, available where fuel additives are sold.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. Do not trust your BMW to some quickie lube place. Bring it to our award-winning service department. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
KMOX, your go-to for family-friendly discussions of topics that matter to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Little news that's crossing here in the last 10 minutes or so. City SC head coach John Hackworth announcing today in a press conference that Jabulo Blom, who is with the team, has been suspended for, quote, violating club rules. Don't know exactly what that means, but he is not going to play for City SC tomorrow against Portland at City Park. So that's something.
Well, yeah, it is. This is something else. So a KMOX listener contacted the newsroom just totally frustrated at what were allegedly deplorable conditions at the U City Forest Manor nursing home. So our KMOX news reporter, Maria Kina, went to the facility to check it out for herself. And wow, it's really bad.
U City Forest Manor is a for-profit corporation. That's according to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS. It shows the facility is affiliated with Palladian Healthcare. Palladian is affiliated with 6 facilities in Illinois and Missouri. According to Medicare.gov, Forest Manor has an overall rating of 1 star out of 5. Health inspections are below average, staffing is much below average, and quality measures are below average. KMOX accompanied the patient's daughter, Mrs. L, into the facility. We walked through the front door without anyone questioning us. The patient was in a movable chair out of her bed in her room. She is not able to move without assistance.
What kind of care do you feel like you're getting in here?
It's sporadic. Depends on who's giving it. Sometimes it's like today my face hasn't been washed. They had linen today. Some days there's no linen and they'll change me. On those days, they'll put a pull-up diaper on me.
Patient says they do not wash her bottom before the diaper, and she calls that a bad feeling. When asked how often a caretaker cleans her or tends to her needs, the patient says, again, it depends who is on.
Some days I don't see anybody in here. I'll occasionally see somebody walk past the door, one of the aides, but they don't come in.
KMOX spoke with SEIU's State Director Lenny Jones about Missouri having one of the worst rankings when it comes to staffing and inspection of nursing homes.
When we're talking about trying to get a minimum staffing ratio of
just shy of 4 hours of care per resident per day. And here we have examples of nursing homes still in Missouri that provide under 2 hours of care per day. It's just atrocious.
Jones says Missouri is making gains on sending inspectors in to evaluate nursing homes and have finally caught up with a huge backlog. However, over the last 2 years, Governor Mike Parson cut already approved and budgeted funds for advocacy groups like Voice.
Number one, they should reach out to Governor Parson to say that the legislature appropriated money that goes to ombudsmen and that money needs to be spent for advocacy organizations like Voice.
Secondly, Jones recommends that you should reach out to your congresspeople to support a federal staffing ratio for nursing homes. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
And that story is on the KMOX website at KMOX.com. And Maria took pictures and has pictures on the website. It's awful. It's so sad to hear that story about the conditions they're in, the lack of care.
And it's difficult to get good nursing home care. And this is a source of stress, just incredible stress for so many families, not just in this state, but around the country. And they mentioned, or Maria mentioned Voice, that organization. It's voicestl.org. Voice is spelled with a Y, VOYCESTL.org. Amy Marks Corps' Chris Ranji. When we come back, Brett Eagleson is a president of the 9/11 Justice, the son of a 9/11 victim. And there's been a lot of news about September 11th and who is responsible for it and who should pay for it. And Brett Eagleson joins us next on KMOX.
Lombardo Homes welcomes you to Saxony Ridge in Wentzville, a sprawling new home community located off Point Prairie Road, west of Highway Z. Saxony Ridge offers custom new construction homes on 3+ acre home sites in the Francis Howell School District. This private and tranquil community offers spacious home sites surrounded by an abundance of beautiful woodlands and open space. Saxony Ridge homeowners will enjoy the close proximity to New Melly, featuring local restaurants, grocers, and numerous recreational opportunities. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com.
You care about every detail, and so does Purina. Every ingredient in their pet food comes from trusted sources, and every ingredient has a purpose. Whether that purpose is to provide just the right nutrients your pet needs or a flavor they will love, Purina has over 250 recipes made without artificial flavors or preservatives for you to choose from. You're sure to find something both you and your pet will love. Learn more at Purina.com/Purina Cares.
At 12:30, clouds and 81 degrees downtown at the Arch. Tropical Storm Debbie making a second landfall this morning, continuing its way up the East Coast. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
North Carolina continues to face unrelenting rain and destruction.
The storm has spawned multiple confirmed tornadoes in North Carolina. Authorities confirmed one fatality from a tornado in Wilson County there.
The Cardinals have taken the first two games of the three-game series against the Rays, winning last night 5-2. Eric Fedde makes his first home start as a Cardinal. He goes 5 innings, allowing 1 run on 4 hits. He picks up his first win with St. Louis and his 8th overall. Ryan Helsley throws a scoreless 9th as he picks up the save. Both Alec Burleson and Nolan Arenado go 2 for 4, driving in 2 runs each. The series finale coming up tonight as the Cardinals look for a 3-game series sweep. Kyle Gibson on the mound looking for his 8th win. 6:15 first pitch. Our coverage starts at 5:20. With the Redbird Report, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Road work on 44 going east at Jefferson in the right shoulder. Also 6440 east at 270. That's got the left lane closed. This afternoon, clouds and sunshine with the high of 86. For tonight, shower moves in with a low 65. For tomorrow, high just 78. Weather sponsored by the Bommarito Automotive Group 500, August 16th and 17th at Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's 81 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not just a race, it's a spectacle. Don't wait. Get your tickets now at www.raceway.com.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2024 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, the Association. Badfinger, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. Friday, August 16th, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Get ready for the all-new Athleta Presents Gold Over America Tour. Join Simone Biles and America's best gymnasts for a night of action-packed gymnastics. October 15th at the Family Arena. Fun for the whole family. You and your kids will love this high-energy spectacle. Music, lights, breathtaking flips, and Gold Squad dancers. Let's GOAT! October 15th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at goldoveramericatour.com.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
I'm Megan Lynch. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
A voice on the video says in Arabic, "I am transmitting these scenes to you from the heart of the American capital, Washington." The man behind the camera is Omar al-Bayoumi, who the FBI says was an operative of the Saudi intelligence service with close ties to two of the 9/11 hijackers.
In a little over a month, it'll be the 23rd anniversary of the worst terrorist attack in United States history, September 11th. And some of the family members are fighting for justice. And in fact, there is a group called 9/11 Justice. And the president of that group is Brett Eagleson, who joins us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. There have been quite a few developments as it pertains to September 11th over the last week. And we are glad to have Brett with us this afternoon. Thank you for being here today, Mr. Eagleson. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start with the lawsuits that your organization is a part of, suing Saudi Arabia for taking or having a massive role in what happened on September 11th. And last week, a U.S. District Court judge heard oral arguments. What is the latest on that? When can we expect a ruling from him and how this will proceed?
That's exactly right. So a week ago, actually a little bit more than a week ago, last Wednesday, I gathered with over 500 9/11 family members. So those that lost direct relatives, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. And we sat in federal court in Manhattan and we listened for the first time. The American public, the media, the family members were able to hear and see evidence and materials that have been classified for over 23 years in some cases. And we heard 7 hours of testimony of our legal team meticulously laying out the Saudi government support network that was in place, designed to make sure these hijackers were successful. And it's been said by former FBI agents that 9/11 would have had a 0% chance of success were it not for this Saudi government support network. So we saw videos of Saudi government officials and other members of the Saudi government hosting the hijackers. We saw evidence of Saudi government officials assisting these hijackers with opening bank accounts and co-signing leases, and evidence of them bringing them to their flying lessons. So it's without a doubt 100% certain, based on what I heard a little bit more than a week ago, that the Saudi government or elements within the Saudi government played a significant role in the support these hijackers needed. Now, if the American people believe that somehow 19 thugs, we'll call them, with no knowledge of English, no money, no exposure to Western culture, no idea how to fly a plane, were somehow able to band together and pull off the most devastating and significant attack on American soil. And if they question that story, they're right to question that story, because these people, these 19 hijackers, needed help. And everything that we've uncovered has pointed to the fact that the Saudi government provided the support network to help them pull it off. So to answer your original question, this now lies in the judge's hands. He has been fully briefed on both sides. I heard the Saudi Kingdom's defense 9/11 Commission repeated throughout the entire day. That's the only thing that they can say, is that they look to the 9/11 Commission to sort of exonerate them. But then we all know the 9/11 Commission never went far enough. And in fact, the 7 hours of testimony we heard and everything referenced, the thousands of pages of exhibits, all came post 9/11 Commission. So the secret FBI operation, Operation Encore, didn't start until 2 years after the conclusion of the 9/11 Commission. Everything that the families talked about was uncovered post 9/11 Commission. The 9/11 Commission never had the video of Omar al-Bayoumi casing the U.S. Capitol. So I'll stop there because I can go on forever, but I'll let you weigh in.
Yeah, no, I mean, because it's pretty crazy. Like your grassroots movement, 9/11 Justice, really put a lot of pressure on President Biden and his administration to issue the executive order for the declassification of these FBI documents. You mentioned the Encore investigation after the 9/11 Commission and how your group is continuing to look at this video. And I think where I'm feeling or seeing the gaps here is that, okay, so your group is pushing to hold the Saudi Arabian government responsible. Was there any press from the U.S. government to hold them responsible before you guys started applying pressure?
No, not at all. It was a political decision by our government not to pursue any leads that would tie it back to Saudi Arabia. That's what we're so mad about. That's what we're so frustrated about. And if you talk to some of the former 9/11 Commission members, which we have, they said every road, every path back to Saudi Arabia was a roadblock. They were told, you can't go down that path. Don't go there. They were underfunded. The commission was rushed, and they were directed to find anything other than a Saudi government involvement. Now, you'll probably remember after the 9/11 Commission, there was something called the Joint Inquiry, which was a Senate and House panel that looked into certain aspects of the 9/11 attacks. There were 28 pages of that Joint Inquiry, which were redacted for years. And we put pressure on the Obama administration to get those 28 pages unclassified. Well, it's no coincidence that those 28 pages, they weren't about, the government of Italy or England or China. Those 28 pages were specifically about the Saudi Arabian government's involvement and connections to Saudi Arabia. So everything about Saudi Arabia has been cloaked in secrecy. And that's just why we're so upset about it, is we don't understand why our government won't help us hold the kingdom accountable and won't be honest with itself and others about the role that the kingdom played.
So even if a judge rules in your favor, how do they actually go about holding Saudi Arabia to account?
Well, we can have judgment. So if we go the long haul here, and if the kingdom actually shows up at a trial, which, I mean, it's doubtful that they will. I don't think that they can afford the PR nightmare of that. But let's just hypothetically say that the kingdom goes the distance here and we win, and we get what are called JASTA judgments. It's a law that we passed called JASTA. We could then take that judgment and we can receive compensation by using that judgment to actually take assets from the kingdom that they have here all along the Gulf Coast of this country. There are oil refineries that are owned by the kingdom. So it would punish the kingdom if we actually went through and got those judgments.
This, I know, is just kind of tangentially related. But as you see this overwhelming push by the Saudi government to sports wash or tourist wash their country with like the Live Golf Tournament and other massive sporting events and developments, what is your reaction to that?
The kingdom hates bad PR. They want to play nice with the West. They want to enjoy the protection of the United States. They want to continue to buy our weapons, and they want to have access to our markets. They're investing in many companies here. It's not just Live Golf. It's, they have significant shares in Twitter and some of these other publicly traded companies. And, what we're saying is that if you want to ingratiate yourself with the West, if you want to host a World Cup, if you want to play on the world stage, if you want a collective security agreement with our country, which I know that they've been pushing for, you need to be held accountable and you need to come clean about the sins of your past. Stop trying to brush us under a rug and call us crazy. We have solid evidence that was elements within your government 25 years or so ago that led to the conditions of 9/11 that gave the support to these hijackers. And until that day happens, we're going to keep pushing back and fighting you every step along the way. And we had a significant success with Live Golf. I think that all the press around Live Golf wasn't about the golf or who won what match. It was about the controversy. And we're going to continue to do that with everything that they try to do until they're held accountable.
President of 9/11 Justice Brett Eagleson is with us on KMOX, also the son of 9/11. Your father was killed on 9/11. And I will ask you about that in a moment, but there's also recent news about Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who is the person believed to have masterminded the entire thing. And there was a plea deal reached, which was quickly revoked by Lloyd Austin. What are your thoughts on what is happening there with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed?
Well, I think that the U.S. government tried to sneak one past us, and they tried to have KSM avoid a public trial. Our thought is that the United States government doesn't want to hear what these terrorists have to say, and they want to just kind of wrap 9/11 up in a nice box and tuck it away and not have to deal with these uncomfortable situations. Look, it's not our fault that the United States government tortured these guys almost 2 decades ago. That's not our problem. As far as I'm concerned, those that tortured them, they have blood on their hands, and we're in this predicament and situation because of them. So the controversy here is that if we, go to a trial, which what the 9/11 families by and large want, we want a trial because we believe a trial is the best way for information to come to light. We've had so much success with our trial and our lawsuit against the kingdom. Look at now what we all know now because of this lawsuit and because of a public trial. So we want the same thing for these terrorists. But, the flip side of that argument is, well, all the evidence against these guys are going to be thrown out because it was obtained through torture. But that's not, unfortunately or fortunately, or however you want to call it, that's not our issue. That's not our problem. We don't think that, slapping each other on the back and allowing these guys to live out a happy life without ever having to answer questions or be held accountable or stand trial, we don't think that that's the right solution here. We think that the best way to the truth is to have these guys in a public trial setting.
And you have called on both President Joe Biden, former President Donald Trump, and other lawmakers to address this issue, bring more attention to it. Have there been any lawmakers who have taken up your cause alongside you to have the U.S. government press this more?
Yes, many lawmakers. Thanks to the congressional branch of our government, we have extreme broad bipartisan support in the United States Congress. Senator Blumenthal from my home state of Connecticut has been a huge supporter of ours, but he's joined with Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin and Senator John Cornyn from Texas. And then in the House, we have equal support. And it goes the whole length of the spectrum. Like if you look at Ron Johnson's politics, he couldn't be more right. If you look at Dick Blumenthal's politics, he couldn't be more left. And these two senators can at least agree on this. This is an extremely bipartisan American issue. We're split right down the middle. There's 50% Republicans and there's 50% Democrats here. So thankfully, we've had the strength of the United States Congress behind us pushing this and helping us along the way. We just wish that the executive would pay more attention and lend more help.
As I mentioned, Brett Eagleson, who is with us now, is the son of a 9/11 victim. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we're about a month away from the 23rd anniversary of this happening. How much more difficult does it get for you when you get closer to that day?
Yeah, it never really goes away. I think with time, it's numbed a bit, but it certainly hasn't been helpful when, look, I mean, I'm a proud American. I fly a big American flag in my front yard. My brother, Tim, after 9/11, he went to Iraq. He did 2 tours of duty. We couldn't be more proud of him. 2 Bronze Star medals. We're patriots. We're Americans. Like, I love this country. I mean, our government has failed us, though. Love the country. Government, I don't trust it. And it's really hard for us to come to terms where we don't have a government that has our back. So as it gets closer and closer, and as the years go on, it gets more and more frustrating. And obviously, as it gets closer to the day, you start thinking about your dad, and you start thinking about what happened that day and where you were, and the stories of that day. And then you start thinking about all the things that my dad, missed. He missed my marriage. He missed, his grandkids. And so that part never gets easier. But I just wish that we could have peace and closure. And I wish our government would help us.
I think for anybody who remembers it, that day was traumatic in the aftermath of it. But to somebody like you who was personally affected by it, it's 1,000 times fold. And so we really do appreciate your efforts and what you're doing here. And we hope that everything does work out in your favor. We also really appreciate your time today, Brett. Thank you for talking with us. And we'd like to talk again soon whenever, we're closer to a resolution on what's going on in court.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more frequent updates as this case continues to go on. And I just wanted to say thank you for having me and allowing me to tell my story to your listeners. You guys are an important area of the country that we don't really have that much access to. This is kind of like sometimes just a New York, Connecticut story. So I'm glad to get this message out further.
Well, thank you, Brett. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Brett Eagleson, president of 9/11 Justice. That is the name of the organization. And again, whose father he lost on September 11th. And we will keep you updated on what is happening with that lawsuit against Saudi Arabia. It's just, the whole thing is very mind-blowing. In the video we were talking about earlier of the one of the plotters at the Capitol, with the video and just sort of, it's just really eerie to see them working through what their plan was going to be on September 11th.
Yeah, no, it is. It's shocking. It's upsetting. And I do think it's important for people to watch. We don't want that memory and that tragedy to be lost in all of the chaos and drama that we have today. There's still justice that has not been done.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underline Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. It is so hot. I mean, it's expected here at times, especially this time of year in St. Louis. But man, and when it gets this hot, I've heard the egg farmers are having a serious problem. That's just what I heard. Again, it might be true, it might not. It sounds like it probably is true that the chicken farmers are having trouble having the eggs because it's so hot. When the chickens lay the egg, it becomes a baby chick. That's hot. So I can only imagine what it is in your house. Well, I don't have to imagine. I've been in your houses when your air conditioner is not working or when it breaks. So if yours is broken or it's not cooling really good, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois, the easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. Now that is a Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You cheer for your favorite team. Wear the colors proudly and show everyone why we have the best fans in baseball. Now, KMOX and Rawlings are celebrating you, the loyal fan. You could win tickets to an upcoming game and $100 from Rawlings. Get entered now at KMOX.com/contest. Just upload a photo of you decked out in your game day attire.
I'm the best fan. I'm the best fan.
The best fans in baseball. Presented by KMOX and Rawlings. The mark of a pro.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing. And when it comes to the quality of your water, it is so important, not just for the taste, but for when you wash your clothes or even your hair or your skin. And bad water can affect all of your appliances. Call them today at 314-500-LEAK. That's Beast Plumbing.
I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Save big on our ready-to-move-in market homes with 3.9% financing if qualified on selected homes. Select from a wide variety of home styles and prime locations. No worries or waiting since we have selected all the most popular features and save thousands in interest. Don't miss this opportunity to own one of these move-in ready homes. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. Join us for the next edition of The Business of Family Business. My co-host is Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners.
Yeah, I think this is one you're going to want to tune into. Jim tells a lot of great stories about taking over McKelvey Homes and bringing his family into the business. So it's a great spot. Tune in.
That would be Jim Brennan, the president and owner of McKelvey Homes. And you'll hear that on The Business of Family Business Saturday at 2 here on KMOX. Stages St. Louis presents Disney's Newsies. The smash hit musical Newsies takes you to New York City, where a band of newsboys become unlikely heroes, standing up to the titans of the publishing industry. Disney's Newsies at Stages St. Louis, an uplifting story packed with thrills, incredible dancing and singing, and a timeless message for the whole family. Tickets are available at stagesstlewis.org. It's Disney's Newsies on stage now, stagesstlewis.org.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
I'm Kevin Wheeler. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Hello, KMOX. Let's go Cardinals.
You guys are nuts. You make me laugh so much. So this is Bill from St. Charles. See you later.
Hi, Chris. This is Jim. Love the show. Who's this Amy person they're talking about? Good luck.
Amy, love your show. Hope you get to go to Six Flags.
Oh, man. We're running out of time.
People really want us to go to Six Flags, but you can use that feature, the voice message feature, on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. When you go to KMOX, there's a listen live button, and right next to it, there's a mic icon. Tap the mic icon, drop us a message whenever you want. The entire station is using it now. It's a great feature.
Mm-hmm.
We are excited to be rolling it out today. Glover used it yesterday. They're coming up next, by the way, and we're playing with it some today.
We're so excited. We had initially said, well, we thought it was 35, but I think it's 50, that if we got 50 voice messages, we would get to go to Six Flags.
Our boss would send us to Six Flags.
I think we're at 48, and there's only like a minute left.
Dude, he wouldn't do it. I don't think he'd follow through on his promise.
I can't believe it. We were so close.
I know, but we do appreciate everybody.
We
and
do.
that mic, the feature, the voice message feature is always available now. It's part of the show.
Yeah.
It's part of the station. So use it whenever you want. You know what happened 50 years ago today, Amy?
No.
Well, I'd like to tell you, but
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
August 8th, 1974, Richard Milhouse Nixon decided to resign as president. It's wild.
He didn't want to be impeached and indicted. You know what I mean?
It's wild.
Yeah.
50 years later, a president decides he's not going to seek re-election.
You know what else?
You know,
Gerald Ford had 2 attempts on his life within a month of each other when he was president.
That is wild.
There were 2 one from like point blank range.
Hey, a lot of good interviews that you missed today. Crystal Quaid, who's running for Missouri governor for the Democratic side. Brett Eagleson, president of 9/11 Justice. Major Garrett on the show. Jeremiah Johnson, blues singer, on the show. Anything you missed is on the Odyssey app, where you can also leave a voice message for us. So go back and listen to it. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Dave Glover is next on KMO.